everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. How was everyone doing? If you missed when I talked about it, I found a spiffy new tinfoil jacket at a little place called Target. You ever heard of it? Little store called Target. Walked in there the other day, straight up, they were just selling this. Like a normal person's gonna wear this. Good for me, though. So that's nice. So we got a new tinfoil outfit. We're almost on a hype train. We'll put on more tinfoil gear as we get higher levels of the hype train. We are doing bingo today, so if you'd like to be a participant, make sure you get your bingo card with the bingo command. And I think that's the housekeeping. I think that's it. Cool beans. Oh, I do actually have to thank... There's multiple movies. I got movies and I need to thank. I got one from today and some that I've had that I haven't thanked yet, so they're over there, and I'm gonna go through them real quick. Oh, did we get a raid? Akintar, thank you for the raid. Go check out Akintar. Let's see what I missed in the chat before I actually do these thank yous for the movies. Fenekagami with 100 bits says finishing up work soon, just in time for tinfoil. Also, how was Pee-Pee show last night? Delusional. As per usual. As per usual. It's real bad. They're just ignoring stuff. I posted about this on Twitter, but literally, at least one of the brokers straight up sent an email to them being like, hey, your shares are worth nothing. They literally said your shares are worthless as per the, document. And they are just mad at the people who said it. They're just mad at that broker and think they're lying to them. It's like the Twilight Zone. Thank you for level 1 in the hype train. I'm a prime example of a normal person wearing that exact jacket, though. But I wouldn't wear this, outside unless I was going to, a concert or, a 90s themed party. I wouldn't just wear this out casually. People would be like, what the fuck? No, I'm not doing any conspiracies about the very real tragedy that's happening. I just can't. I can't handle it. And I want to keep this relatively light. I can't. Anyway, continuing. Jules, Kurzler, thanks for 22 months. Fenekagami says, come on, chat, where's the hype? It's Tinfoil Tuesday. And also says, fine, you bottoms, the local top will get things started. See, this is why we need tops. Nothing gets done without them. Altered Undying says, spooky peeps for ya. Oh, cute. I don't like peeps. The candy. I don't like them. But they are cute. Where's the Peter thing? There he is. Gotta have Peter up. Overthought with 100 bits says, sweet jacket. Unsightly RF, thanks for 11 months. DM Trey says, hey Hannah, that outfit looks fantastic. Thank you very much. Hannah mentions Blu-rays, that counts. If you want to get that as a free space, you guys just gotta keep sending me stuff from my Blu-ray wish list. That's the secret. This whole thing has just been a scheme to get Blu-rays. Bromine Lucid, thanks for 9 months. This sub-baby's name is going to be Agathor Cromwell Michelin. You're welcome. Dahlia Vianney, thanks for 17 months as another month here. I've been MIA for a bit. I always watch the reposts on YouTube. Well, I'm glad that you've still been catching up, and I'm glad to see you here live again. iNecrophage with 29 months. Thank you very much. Starry Beauty, thanks for gifting a sub. Yeah, I saw we had a bunch of people join the Discord today. I think they saw on, the VOD I posted on YouTube today that we're voting for costumes on the Discord. And my incentive idea worked. Now you're in my Discord. Now what will you do? You'll never escape my influence. It's not like you can just leave the Discord. You're trapped now. Old enough to know better now. Thank you for 37 months. Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for continuing your gift sub. Anonymous, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. You mysterious stranger out there in the chat, thank you for being so generous to the community and myself. Lance with 100 bits says, "Hey Hannah, I had the occasion to drive through Michigan last week, just barely over the Indiana border, like across New Buffalo to Cassopolis. And was delighted to discover that traffic cameras are explicitly illegal in Michigan. Michigan just keeps getting better and better. Hello from your southern neighbors." I actually didn't even know that as a Michigan resident. That's interesting. Neat. Had to be 11 or 12 people just today. Hey, the incentive's working. Apparently. Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for gifting a sub. Beck for a sec, nice name, says, "Gotta say, just joined the Discord and it's the only reason I even knew this started first. First stream I've gotten to see live." That's one of the great things about the Discord. You can vote on the outfits. It's a great community where you can talk about all sorts of things with people. We have a venting channel. We have channels to discuss like movies and TV. We have a channel for like obsessively, I'm pretty sure we have like a hyperfixation channel, do we? Where people can just kind of like, you know, what's the word? Maybe we don't have that on this actual one. Info dump. No, we do. We have an info dump channel for people who want to like talk about things that they... Tabletop games. We have a comic book discussion page, a video game discussion page, music, anime. I drop in every once in a while and talk with you guys. Anyway, it's all very fun. So I would recommend, you know, even if you're not interested in the community, though you should be, because it's a lot of fun and it's always nice to have extra people out there who, you know, enjoy talking with you or whatever. It's still the best way probably to get notifications that I'm going live, so if that interests you, join the Discord. And you can vote on my costumes, so that's fun. Let's see, over level 3, 0% to level 4, so let's start getting this stuff ready. We got the horns. I know we have the crown somewhere. Yes, we have a creative channel, we have a fan art channel, all sorts of stuff for people to show their various creative talents. There. All hail the tinfoil queen. Anyway. So, okay, let's get to thinking for movies and stuff while we're doing the hype train. 3 minutes left on that. I got Serenity, which is, I believe, the Firefly movie. And this was courtesy of Harold Elboman IV. So thank you very much for that. I still haven't seen... I've only seen, like, one episode of Firefly. Baha loves Firefly. It's one of her, like, favorite shows, and she's super upset that it got canceled, like every Firefly fan is, from what I've seen. So thank you for that. I have the, show, but I didn't have that movie. So that's awesome. Thank you. So let's see what else we got. Someone sent Willow with Warwick Davis, so thank you for that. Let's see. Megan, the unrated cut, so thank you for that. Ooh, this is the one I think I'm most excited about personally. I like them all, but someone sent Prey that finally came out, so that's nice. Thank you. I would love Firefly. I liked the first episode that we watched. And then finally we have Trick or Treat, apropos for the holiday season. So thank you very much. Let's move these. Don't forget it's predictive programming for the New World Order, obviously. Set that over there. She has good taste. Did she read the comics? They're pretty good, especially if you're frustrated with the cancellation of the show. She hasn't. She hasn't read the comics. She knows they exist, though. But she has been very busy. Minute left on the hype train. Get your bingo cards ready. Again, we are going to be playing. Looks like everyone shot their bolt getting us to level 4. It happens. It happens sometimes, that's right. Not every hype train needs to be, you know, a level 5, level 10. Sometimes things are just what they are. And I appreciate any and all support. Skefazoa, thanks for 69 bits. 40 seconds. Gnome Pickles with 20 months says, I stop in to renew my sub and see Peter. Time to settle in for my medicine. Well, I guess we'll have to watch Peter first, then. Any Friday the 13th stream plans? I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about the Friday the 13th movies. Could I talk about that for 3 hours? I don't know. Woof! There we go again. Goddamn Purple Pondini. You come in and just slap it on the table with 5,000 bits. Jesus Christ. You are so generous for me. I appreciate it to no end. Seriously. Thank you. 31% to level 5. That feels like it didn't give enough of the bar for how much you just gave. Twitch is weird. I don't understand their math a lot of the time. It's unfortunate. There's also a juggle command. Pterodona, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. 49% to level 5. Where's my third juggling ball? Did I drop it last night and then... What kind of juggler am I that I've forsaken my tools? Yeah, you thought I was gonna say balls, didn't you? I'm more cognizant than that, chat. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub. Let's see, here we go. Okay, 58% to level 5, but while that's going, we can go ahead and get into the Peter video. Let's go ahead and start it. If you missed my last couple times covering Peter, Peter has pivoted. He is still into the Trump QAnon stuff, but it's all couched within this alt health thing. He's tried to concoct his own fad diet, and it's interesting. So we're going to take a look after I call these out. Altered Undying says Friday the 13th, a Friday the 13th makeup palette is coming out. I'm hoping it comes with good reds. I think the same company's doing a Nightmare on Elm Street one. That looks very cool. Gnome Pickles says the weather outside is frightful, but the company here's delightful, so let Peter incriminate himself. Huh, doesn't work as well as the original. No, but you got the spirit, and that's what's important. Jake Thoney, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. And, that catches us up, 4% to level 6. Let's hear what Peter's doing now. He's hanging out outside. That's good. It's always good to touch some grass.
Welcome to Peter's Health Report. On episode 2, today we're going to be talking about inflammation and how it's very much like the border wall. Let me explain.
Oh god, of course he's going to try and use weird right-wing talking points to try and explain his diet. Oh god. Inflammation is like a border wall. He really has just the worst brainworms, doesn't he? He's got the cult brainworms, the right-wing brainworms, the QAnon brainworms, alt-health brainworms. It's just brainworms all the way down. His brain is like 98% brainworm.
Hopefully you can hear me. I'll try to speak out loud here so we can get the scenery and soak that in as well. Inflammation appears to be...
Now I'm curious if you even tested it. Peter, you know you could have like done a quick shot and then checked the volume, right? You could also get a lav mic. They're not super expensive anymore. You can get a pretty cheap lav mic that works by Blu-ray from like Best Buy. Probably cheaper online, but they sell them at Best Buy. Demibird says, finally caught a stream from the beginning thanks to my lovely boyfriend. He's getting his implant out to get pregnant soon. Oh, nice, nice. Good luck with all of that. Glad you could catch the stream live.
Something that comes up over and over and over again. When you look into diet and preventative health, for example, if you look at the number 1 factor leading to death worldwide, that's poor diet. And poor diet, what they mean by that is generally inflammatory food.
Peter, no they don't. You're literally lying. We went over this when we covered this the first time. When they're talking about deaths related to diet, they're talking about either malnutrition or, on the other end of the spectrum, places like the United States where there's abundant high density calorie food. You have people who suffer with like disordered eating and then have heart disease issues. We literally talked about this. He is in front of our eyes, and I don't know if he's intentionally lying, because Peter's like, as much as you can be a professional at falling for grifts and falling for cults, Peter is that kind of professional. He easily slides into this kind of thinking because it's all he's known. So I don't know if he knows he's lying, or if he is just so good at twisting and contorting reality that he has convinced himself that that's what those articles said. It's not. It's not what those articles said, even a little bit. All Eve... Wait, let me see. A level 5 Bidoof, thanks for 3 months. Nice name. Minute left on the hype train, 11% to level 6.
If you look at what is the main thing that is harming us from food, it's inflammation. If you look at what is the main source of most health problems, again, it's inflammation. Now, what
are you basing that claim on, Peter? You're just saying it. You're just saying it. You're just saying a thing that isn't true confidently. Do you know what we call that, Peter? Do you know what we call it when you're trying to sell someone something by talking confidently even though you're lying or don't know what you're talking about? Think it through. Foxers, thanks for 4 months. Appreciate it. 18% to level 6 with 30 seconds.
What is inflammation? Inflammation is just your body's responding to something. So when people say inflammatory food, you probably have heard of inflammatory food before. That means they're talking about harmful food. But when people talk about inflammation in general, as a medical term, that means your body's response. For example,
Peter, you know when you were a kid and you'd like play adult with other kids, like you'd pretend to have jobs or know things that you didn't know? You know, you'd pretend to have expertise. Like if you're like playing like lawyer or cops and robbers or whatever you're playing, you're gonna be like, oh, hello, I am a lawyer and I know the law. You are guilty, says I. You know, you don't really know what you're talking about, but you kind of know the gist of like what the topic is aesthetically because you've seen it on TV as a kid or whatever. So you're kind of modeling behaviors based on your thin understanding of it. Peter's doing that. A lot of the things he does are very similar to the Bed Bath & Beyond people in that they're sort of cargo culting. They're looking at the aesthetic and the vocabulary of either stocks or, in this case, health and diets, and just co-opting that language despite not understanding it and it not being applicable to what they're talking about. They co-opt it and put it into their stuff to make it sound more legitimate. Again, I'm not saying he's doing this intentionally. I'm just saying this is what he's doing whether he realizes it or not. Whether he's lying to himself and this is how he's justifying his beliefs to himself, I cannot say. Gnome Pickle says, the only thing inflamed here is Peter's belief in his abilities. Boom, roasted.
If there is a border crisis at...
There isn't one. Good news, Peter. Please stop listening to propaganda.
The border here in the United States, right? And the border patrol...
Which one, Peter? Which one? Which border? There's 2 of them. Which one, Peter? Is it the one at the south where there's people that maybe you're going to have specific issues with for xenophobic reasons, Peter? Or do you also hate Canadians?
Border Patrol has to be activated to take care of that. That, in a sense, is an inflammatory response.
Ew.
And illegal immigration through the border is, in a sense, inflammatory food.
What? What are you talking about? He's trying so hard to craft a narrative which is fascistic in and of itself. The idea of comparing, like, a group of people trying to come into the country, like, without going through the proper channels and comparing it to some sort of either disease or infestation, or in this case, inflammation and inflammatory reaction, something your body's allergic to is basically what he's saying. That's fascist talking points. Like, comparing people you don't like, in particular, if it's people of a particular ethnicity or nationality, and comparing them to disease or rodents or anything like that, is like textbook fascist behavior. It's disgusting, Peter. They're human beings. They are human beings who are probably suffering and who need to go somewhere safer where maybe they can actually do something to better their lives, where there's more opportunity, where they can maybe have a better life or at least get money to send back to their families. They're not people here to harm you, Peter. I know that you're constantly fear-mongered about this, but they are just human beings like you or me. You just don't know them.
Let me rewind a little bit. Our body is like a country. And the border wall that we have in the United States is very much our mouth. So when you say
What?
see it that way, what you have is the border wall in the United States, and you have immigrants coming in. Some of those immigrants are going to come in and they're going to be good people and they're going to be great for the country.
Peter, you are literally just repeating things you have heard Donald Trump say. This is like one of his first snafus was when he was like, they're coming through, they're murderers, they're R-words. Some of them, I assume, are good people. The implication that the majority, or even like a large plurality of people who are crossing the southern border without having a green card, the idea that like they're evil or nefarious or more prone to like whatever you consider bad behavior, that's just racism. You're just racist. If your thought is, oh no, people from either Mexico or Central America, oh my goodness, they're coming into the country. If your first thought is they're criminals, you're just being racist. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. How can you not listen to yourself and immediately go, wait a minute. The only thing that is in common of all these people is that they're a different nationality than me. But I think most of them are criminals and pose an existential threat to me. What is the thing that makes them an existential threat? Peter, you're just concerned because of xenophobia. Chill out.
You can call that nourishing food. Or you can call that just beneficial vitamins and minerals in a symbolic sense. Or there's people who immigrate to the United States legally. You would call those very nutritious, healthy food in a sense. But what happens when people come through the border illegally, an illegal alien?
Peter, do you know that the vast majority of legal immigration doesn't come from people illegally crossing the southern border? It comes from people coming legally with green cards and then overstaying? It's almost like this whole border wall thing is literally just a narrative that Republicans use every few years to convince idiots into voting for them because they're stupid and scared, and their brains can only conceptualize things as people from other countries scary, need wall good, people different than me bad. Oh, Fox News tell me invasion, Fox News tell me drugs and murder come. Me vote for Trump cause he build big wall. Big wall stop people. People no go through wall. Wall solid. Like it's like caveman brain thinking. It's so stupid. Fenekagami says to be fair, Peter's using the same implications as the average right-wing commentator. On a definitely unrelated note, the guys are constantly confused as to why people keep calling them fascists too.
And they cause trouble, they do damage. Well, now you could call that an illegal inflammatory alien.
Holy shit, I use metaphors and similes too much, but I'd like to think at least they're illustrative. This is like the worst metaphor. This is actively making your concept make less sense. Please stop.
It means harm, damage. That person is going to come in and do damage to the country.
Inflammation in your body, yes, can be a result of some sort of immune response. That doesn't mean that everything that bad happens in your body is due to inflammation, Peter.
Again, I'm saying some people who come in the country legally or illegally are going to be very beneficial to the country, and that in a sense is the beneficial.
Wasn't he living in Panama? Yes, he was born to United States citizens, though, so he has birthright citizenship.
Element of it, the nourishing element of it, But a lot of this illegal border crossing is going to be people who don't have good morality, who are going to cause...
What the fuck does that mean? Again, what are you basing that on? Why do you think they're any more or less immoral? In this case, you think they're less moral than you, or Americans on average. The crime rate for undocumented immigrants is lower than that of citizens. As it turns out, if you're in the United States and you're not there legally, you're not going to try and commit crimes because that'll get you caught. Have you thought about that, Peter, for even 5 seconds?
Cause damage to our country. These are inflammatory people.
Peter, what if I told you I think Donald Trump and your church have done more damage to the United States than any undocumented immigrant who has ever entered the country?
In the sense that they're gonna...
Because that's pretty much where I'm sitting here. Like, the idea that undocumented immigrants are damaging is so wild. Justify it. Justify that statement. Fenekagami says, question, has anyone here ever heard a right-wing talk about green cards? I'm not sure they know those exist. I'm sure I've heard them talk about it, but usually it's been in the context of reducing it. Reducing the green card program, not making it easier or streamlining the process or anything.
Gonna do damage. They're gonna hurt us in the sense...
In what sense?
Of if they do stealing, or if these people hurt...
Peter, do you think Americans don't steal? What are you talking about?
People, or...
Why do you think that someone coming in from the southern border is any more likely to steal than any random person in the United States?
Rob people, or shoot people, or God forbid do worse? Well, that's damage. And not only do we have to deal with the damage that they cause and fixing that damage, healing those people, righting those wrongs, we also have to deal with the legal alien. And that costs resources. A lot of these legal aliens come in and we have to spend a lot of welfare money on it. We have to...
Peter, you stupid bitch! How are they getting welfare if they don't have a social security number? You can't get welfare if you can't prove that you're an American citizen or at least paying taxes. Like, if someone is an undocumented immigrant and they're getting social services, that means that at some level, whether it's legitimate or not, they have some sort of tax identification number, even if it's some sort of, like, social security number that they get elsewhere. Whatever the reason, no, Peter, you cannot get a bunch of social services if you're not paying taxes, or if you can't prove in some way that, like, I am from here. God damn it.
Spend a lot of money taking care of these people as we try to...
Peter, you don't have a job. Peter, let me repeat something. You don't have a fucking job. So maybe glass houses. Glass houses? Because it seems like what you do is sit around and do weed and make up bullshit and research things on the internet and just get sucked into different cults. What are you talking about? You don't want to go down the road of utilitarianism or some sort of fascistic idea of, like, human value as dictated by, like, how much you can produce or whatever. Because, oh boy, Peter, on that scale, you're not doing great. Screaming at the Radio says, immigrants do less crime, pay their taxes, are productive. You're thinking of billionaires. An immigrant, from an immigrant. One of the good ones, winky face. Mr. Whisker says, I prefer my immigrants to come to the country legally to expand their cult. Oh, like Reverend Moon. It took me a second. I forgot for a second. Yeah, the cult leader at Peter's church immigrated. Oh. I'm on fire tonight. It's the jacket. It empowers me.
Process them. This illegal border crossing crisis in the United States is...
Peter, isn't it crazy that this crisis has been going on literally my entire life, insofar that Fox News every election cycle will kick up shit about this and act like it's an existential crisis to the United States. Like, literally, Peter, do you not remember, like, the early 2000s? This shit was going on then, too, and it was also exacerbated by claiming, like, oh, terrorism, terrorists are gonna get in and do another 9/11 from the southern border. Like, this shit has been talked about for decades, Peter. I'm sure it predates me paying attention to politics in the early 2000s. You're just so easily grifted. God. Be less gullible. Be this much less gullible.
Identical to the food crisis in the United States as it relates to inflammation. As I explained, illegal aliens who come in the country and do damage are inflammatory illegal aliens. And when I say inflammatory, I mean they're coming in and they're doing damage. And we gotta fix that damage, and we gotta spend resources dealing with that alien. Your mouth is basically the border wall. And when you let food in that's healthy, it's like those good immigrants. They're healing the country because our body is like a country, right? They're healing us, they're making us feel better, they're making our country greater. That's nourishing vitamins and minerals and all this healthy medicinal compounds from fruit. That's great. But what happens when you eat inflammatory food like McDonald's? Well, that's like you letting a bunch of illegal...
Wait, what? What? Peter, we've talked about this. I think you just have celiac disease. Stop eating wheat. McDonald's has wheat in their fucking buns. Stop eating bread.
Immigrants in.
Gnome Pickle says, Peter, I'll give you $100 if you can show me medically what inflammation is and what you're measuring in blood to show the levels of it. Logarth with 40 months says, it's the big 4-0. Hey, wow, 40 months.
We're gonna...
Thank you. Thanks for sticking around that long.
Do inflammatory damage. That's you letting inflammatory food through your border wall. So what's a diet? A diet is a vetting process for the border wall known as your mouth. Anyone who is not on a diet at this point has open borders.
Everyone is on a diet. A diet is just the descriptor for, you know, the variety of things you eat and in what ratios. Like, it's just the things you eat is your diet. Like, colloquially, a diet means, like, some sort of food diet program. But everyone has a diet, and if they don't, they die.
We know as a country, at least most of us do, that the open border policy of letting illegal immigrants in...
Peter, that's never been a thing. That has literally never been a thing. What are you talking about? Border Patrol is still a thing. ICE is still a thing. People get deported every day. What are you talking about? You're so ignorant. You have such little education and know nothing about anything, but you're so confident. It's maddening. Lance says, it's like he saw some lefty video essays where they analog some philosophical concept to something happening in current events, but he doesn't get why. Yes, he understands that people make comparisons sometimes, but he doesn't understand how to do it. But Homestead says, geez, get back from kiddo's physical therapy and the mouth is the border wall. What the fuck? Peter, remember, poop comes out your butthole. What's the butthole in this case? Is that the deportation process?
And to do all this inflammatory damage is really bad and it harms our country. But did you know that letting inflammatory elements of food into your body, your mouth is the border wall, and letting that in and damage you, is also going to do a lot of damage to your body, and it's very similar. For example, as I explained with illegal aliens come in, they do damage, we have to fix that damage, and we have to...
What damage, Peter? Providing underpaid labor for businesses that profit off the backs of these people who work very hard and get paid under minimum wage often? Like, how can you possibly justify this, Peter? What are you talking about?
To spend resources dealing with those illegal immigrants. So we have to heal and we have to expend resources dealing with the inflammatory response. Same with your body. You eat inflammatory food, what happens? That inflammatory food does damage, which triggers an inflammatory response. And now our body has to expend resources dealing with that inflammatory response and expend resources fixing that damage, just like an invasion at the border with illegal immigrants. In fact, based on my research, the Cabal or Illuminati or...
God damn it. Okay, yeah, we gotta start doing bingo stuff, don't we? I mentioned Blu-rays earlier, so Blu-rays on the bingo card. Illuminati on the bingo card.
Main bad guys in the world, I guess you could say. Two main ways that they're causing damage to Americans are inflammation at the border and inflammation at our bodies, which is our mouth border.
He's so eloquent. What a way with words.
They're letting a lot of bad people, in fact, encouraging bad people to come through the border.
Peter, in this analogy, what is eating ass? I'm just curious. I need to know for science.
Illegally to do a lot of damage.
Mr. Whiskers says inflammational damage. And Logarth says, I wish he'd close his border.
Inflammatory damage. If you see the country as like a body, they're coming in and causing inflammatory responses because we have to expend resources fixing that issue, fixing that problem.
Conspiracy theorist tells on himself. Yeah, I would say so for how ignorant he is. Fair.
Same with your body. Your mouth is a border wall.
Okay, we get it. You did it. You said this. Why are you repeating it? It wasn't a good metaphor in the first place. So you don't need to keep doing it. We get it. It's bad.
If you have no diet, you have no vetting process.
Basically, this metaphor is, hey guys, you know how you're also xenophobic and don't like people coming from the southern border? That's like bad food. And bad food is bad for you. So don't eat bad food and eat good food. That's it. That's the whole metaphor. There you go. That quick, Peter. You're such a bad salesman. Hydrate.
That means you're letting a bunch of inflammatory elements through your border, and it's gonna do damage. So where am I going with all this? Well, I find it particularly fascinating that not only is the Cabal trying to inflame and cause a lot of damage to the country through the border wall, but they're also trying to make sure a lot of our food is inflammatory to cause an inflammatory response in our body, which is essentially a country, because all our cells are kind of like citizens, and it works very much like a country. So inflammation through the food that we eat, inflammation through the illegal border crossings, there is a powerful symbolic connection there. They're trying to do damage through us, through inflammation through food and inflammation through the border wall. They're very, very interconnected.
I don't know if it is it's not word salad. Like, what he says makes sense. It's just stupid.
Symbolically speaking, they don't have a direct connection, but symbolically they're very, very similar, and I feel like that helps people understand inflammatory food. So what's the solution here? Well, as you know, there's hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants coming through their country, and that's going to cause inflammation to the body, to the country. That's going to do a lot of damage. Now,
do I want to do vibes-based conspiracy? Sure.
A certain amount of immigration we can handle. In fact, if there are only 30 bad criminals coming through the country every single year through illegal immigration, we have the resources to handle that. We can deal with that. We have more than enough resources to handle that. So if we keep the illegal immigration of inflammatory illegal aliens.
He's somehow managed to make this video try and be about two things, but he's like simultaneously bungled it so badly that he's not illustrating either point well. The metaphors are muddling each other. The metaphor just makes the arguments worse for both of them. Ugh.
That are coming to our country.
Gnome Pickles says, look, I know I've blown your mind, so let me repeat it 3,000 or 4,000 times so you don't miss my brilliant metaphor.
At 30 or less, we can handle that. Our body, the country will not be destroyed. We'll be able to deal with it well. But if we're letting hundreds of thousands of people through the country in the legal border crossing situation, and a lot of those people, I'm talking thousands and thousands, are really bad hombres, bad people who are going to do a lot of damage.
He's literally just repeating talking points from Trump. He has no original ideas whatsoever. And don't get me wrong, I understand that everything to an extent is derivative. We all form our opinions and beliefs and new ideas based on things we've absorbed from other people. Nothing's fully original. You're literally just parroting talking points from Trump, though. Did you even integrate this, or is it just, like, on a CD somewhere in your brain to play? Like, did you think about it and what that means, the implications of what you've said, potentially the racist connotations of what you said? And I think I'm being very generous saying racist connotations and not just how fucking racist it is.
Country. What happens to the country? Well, the border...
I think I've heard of Marfugal, but I haven't seen it. Terradona says, it's a hodgepodge of racist, xenophobic, and food-based conspiracies. Yeah.
Patrol doesn't have enough resources to deal with that. They run out of resources. As for the damage, we have to spend so much resource fixing the damage, and a lot of the damage can't be fixed because of these people who come in illegally kill people. We can't fix that. That's a lot of damage. But there's only a certain amount of illegal border crossings, especially as it relates to criminals, that our country can handle. Under 30 a year, just as an example.
Is he okay? Did he get, like, stuck in a loop? Is he skipping, like, a record? Like, I feel like someone needs to go check on him. Is this a live stream? Is he still sitting next to this weird hill?
We can handle that. But 3,000 or 30,000, even 300,000 criminals coming in every year that are going to do damage, that overwhelms the system. The same situation, car coming. The same situation happens with your body. We're eating inflammatory foods. Inflammatory because they either touch plastic or because we use toxic Teflon cooking pans, or because they're highly glycemic, which means they're sugary, or because they have pesticides, or we're frying food, which makes foods inflammatory.
Wow, everything is bad. Jesus.
So we're eating 3 to 6 meals a day, and each
Skifazoa says, when you gotta reach a word count.
Meal is causing about 10 to 20 inflammatory responses. At the end of the day, another car is crossing.
No, hyperglycemic doesn't mean food is sugary. Hyperglycemic is like when you have high blood sugar. Hypoglycemic is when you have low blood sugar. Again, see what I mean? He's picked up words, but he doesn't understand them. He just uses them the way he wants to use them, if that makes sense.
At the end of the day, our body is dealing with over 100 inflammatory responses from food every single day.
Source?
And that causes an issue. So how do we heal?
Did you guys notice the John Doyle emote, by the way? I did that John Doyle emote. It's a little tiny. I might redo it and make it bigger, but it's there.
As a country, we heal by having a strict vetting process, closing the border wall, and making sure that only healthy elements come to the country, only good citizens who are going to help us. Same applies to our body. By going on a diet like the medicine diet does, it makes sure that you're letting as few inflammatory elements, inflammatory foods into your body. Because your body can handle a certain amount of inflammatory food. As an example, a general example, if you are eating between 10 to 30 inflammatory elements through your food every single day, I think your body can handle that. But if your body is eating so much inflammatory
I gotta make it bigger. I don't know why it came out so tiny.
Food that there's like over 100 inflammatory responses being triggered every single day from the food that we eat. What happens to the United States when that happens? A lot of damage and a huge expenditure of resources. What happens in our body?
Expenditure.
A lot of damage that needs to be fixed and a huge expenditure of resources.
Expenditure.
So it's very,
Anathema.
very similar to both these ways that the cabal is attacking us. So the solution is the same solution With the border wall, it's the same solution with our body. You have to reduce the amount of inflammatory responses, reduce the amount of harm to a manageable level. If you're eating food like 3 to 4 meals a day, and those meals have very little inflammatory elements, we're talking about maybe 15 to 10 inflammatory responses a day through our food, that'd be great. Our body can deal with that many inflammatory responses. But we're eating a ton of GMO food.
It always sounds like he's saying inflammatory and not inflammatory. I'm sure that's just like he has an interesting speech pattern. He grew up in Panama, where his parents were before coming back to the States. So I don't know if it's from that, but it's just interesting. He throws off syllables sometimes. So it just comes off as like, instead of, inflamed or whatever.
Food that's touching plastic, microwave food with a bunch
microwave food? Any microwave food? What if I take like last night? Last night I made a patty melt. I went to the store, I got ground beef from that day and took it home, made a patty, cooked the burger, put it on bread, cooked that, all good. If I stick that in the microwave, is it all of a sudden inflammatory? Like, what the fuck do you think a microwave does, Peter? A microwave literally just heats up water molecules in food. And it heats up the food. Oh my god.
Just sugar and all these... Thank you, truck. All these harmful elements and...
The microwave has inflammatory properties, obviously. Like, what if someone's making a cup of tea or cocoa or something and they throw a cup with water in the microwave for a minute? Is the water inflammatory now, Peter?
And what they call preservatives in food. Now we're dealing with 100 or more inflammatory responses, and that overwhelms our body. So the secret to being healthy, what people aren't talking about, is that you have to get that ratio.
Don't make microwave tea. Why? For the record, we have an electric kettle. Most Americans don't. What's wrong with microwave tea? Why would it matter? It's heating up water. It doesn't matter how you heat it up. It's hot water.
Of inflammatory responses much lower. You have to reduce it. If it's at 100 or 200, you're going to get cancer, you're going to get diabetes and a lot of health problems eventually.
Peter, you stupid bitch, diabetes is caused, at least type 2 diabetes, is generally caused by you developing, oh gosh, why am I blanking on the word? Developing, a resistance to insulin or something, or your body isn't able to produce it. Anyway, it has something to do with, like, eating too much sugar and stuff. Like, you develop that for dietary reasons. And type 1's genetic. So that doesn't apply in any way here. Jesus. Just don't put the tea bag in the water when you microwave it. Well, obviously, who does that? You heat up the water and then you steep the tea, just like any other way you heat up water. I don't think people are mostly sticking, tea in the microwave with the tea bag in it. That's not right.
But if you can reduce the amount of inflammatory responses into our body will handle it well and it can focus on healing. Same with the country. If you reduce the amount of inflammatory illegal aliens that are coming into the country, we can handle that and our country can focus on healing. So I thought this was a fascinating concept that would be really interesting to share on my second health report here, because at the end of the day, there's a huge similarity between the border crisis and also the food crisis as it relates to all the damage that is being dealt to our bodies. So ultimately, what we have to do is make sure there is little harmful elements coming through our food so that our body can focus on healing. And I'm going to get into a lot more of this later on, but I wanted to get that out there, get this information out there, because I think it's very important that people focus on eating as healthy as possible. Because although the body is very durable and can handle a certain amount of inflammatory responses, your body does become overwhelmed. The amount of resources your body has to protect yourself against these inflammatory responses, it gets consumed and then expended, and then there isn't much to go around to deal with the extra that come. And all that damage from the inflammatory food, that causes a lot of damage to our defense system, our immune system. That causes a lot of damage to our gut. 70% of the immune cells in our body are in our gut. That's like 70% of our defense in our body is in our stomach. Why is most of the defense in our body in our stomach? Because as we were designed with the knowledge that basically we need to protect ourselves from this border wall called your mouth, from all the elements that are going to come in. Our defense is here in the stomach because we have to deal with all these inflammatory responses. Our immune cells in our stomach are like soldiers. Our soldiers at the border patrol agents, and they're dealing with and processing all these.
Did he watch Osmosis Jones like last night? And he was like, I have a brilliant idea.
Inflammatory foods. And again, because most of our defense is in our body, in our gut here, we're designed to handle a certain amount of inflammatory food. But once it gets very, very high, because we're in a horrible diet, that's very
Who willingly watches Osmosis Jones? Wait, do you not like Osmosis Jones? Osmosis Jones is a fun movie. How dare you? I wanted to come out on Blu-ray so bad. I only have the DVD. Andronicus Khan says, Peter is what happens when you roll low wisdom and make a cleric anyway. Gnome Pickle says, technically the 70% thing is correct if you include our intestines, which is a pretty big part of us. Let's see. And that's it.
Inflammatory. Our body becomes overwhelmed.
You haven't seen it since you were 12. Here's the thing. The Bill Murray parts of the movie aren't my favorite. The live action segments of Osmosis Jones are pretty eye-rolling. And Bill Murray's character is so unlikable in that movie, it's ridiculous, even at the end. But the animated segments, those are excellent. The animation's pretty fun, too. So. And I'm familiar with Cells at Work, but we all know why I'm not watching that, so.
Our body.
That XY Girl says, I am an anatomy teacher finishing up my lymph immune system unit, and this is so painful. You're welcome.
Becomes damaged, and eventually our body can get destroyed. In other words, we can die. Same with our country. If we let too many people through the border, it's going to do a lot of damage to our country. And worst case scenario, if we never close off that border in the United States, our country can be decimated, and a lot of people can get hurt. So there's a connection here worth making. I found it was a lot easier to understand inflammation as it relates to food if you compare it to the border wall, which is something that people are very familiar with. So hopefully you...
Lilac Rosenberg says, that's the movie Kid Rock. Mud wrote that song about having underage sex. Oh, yeah. That is a yikesy moment.
If you guys enjoyed this health report, I love doing these things. It's very exciting. And I'm looking forward to doing more health reports. My goal is to do one once every week, released on a Monday morning. So look forward to that. Peter's Health Reports, a lot more coming out. Stay happy, stay healthy.
Feels like that cut off very suddenly, but all right, all right. So that's how Peter's been. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Stromboli says, God, I want an internet debate between Peter and this guy. Warning, British accent incoming. Oh, God. Who is it? Hold on. I'm going to use this fridge to have... Before we do that, I'll show this.
Even the simplest cunts understand how fat loss works. And unlike your typical cunt personal trainer, I'm not going to just tell you the solution is tape the fucking thing closed. Take this fridge as a representation of your body. As you eat your food throughout the day, your breakfast, your lunch, dinner, and a few snacks, because we're normal human beings around here, eventually your fridge is going to end up full, or you're going to end up having reached your calorie requirements. This is where the freezer comes into play. If you eat less than your fridge or your fucking body requires, it's going to take it from your body's freezer, aka your fat stores, to help give your body the energy it requires for the rest of the fucking day. This also works vice versa. If you eat too many calories, they're going to be stored as fat. This is
yeah,
why...
he's literally just explaining calories in, calories out, which is how all weight loss diets work, is by using more calories than you put in your body.
The cunts that say carbohydrates are bad or you can't eat certain foods doesn't make sense. Just because the food has carbohydrates in it doesn't mean...
You could literally lose weight eating only McDonald's. You would just have to calorie count. It wouldn't be good for you. You wouldn't be getting your, like, vitamins and minerals and stuff, but you could do it.
Your body automatically gets...
Probably wouldn't be fun.
...it and fucks it into the freezer. So to the cunts that are always talking about insulin, please do me a favor, fuck off.
Yes, JP Black, which we'll mark off in a second.
And when you're done fucking off, fuck off again. There's not a single food on this planet that we can't fucking eat. If you want to learn...
yes, you refresh the bingo card every stream.
...learn how to lose fat without having...
There you go. Alright, let's take a look at the bingo card for realsies this time. Alrighty. Illuminati Freemasons / Cabal on the bingo card. Conspiracy theorist tells on themselves. Bone Wolf Connor, thanks for 20 months, says 20 months. Oh no, Todd Howard's sibling is 2 months late. Pete Hines. This stream baby's name is Pete Hines. I'm just gonna say, no, he didn't say it. He didn't say it. He's being condescending, but he didn't say he was a genius. Fuck it, I'll give you word salad. I understood it, but his repetition made it clear he was just vomiting words, so. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Shilling / scamming. Avant Gardner says, made it back to Chicago from Saugatuck. It was a great time. Little rainy. Nice to be in Michigan. Oh, nice. Welcome to the Mitten. Vibes-based conspiracy. Anything else? Am I missing stuff? No, not expert, because he's not an expert. Like, it would have to be, like, someone who's like I'm a podiatrist, and I'm here to talk to you about why aliens are real, you know what I mean? It'd be trying to use their legitimate credentials in another field to try and bolster their claims in an unrelated field. Yeah, he's not an expert in anything, so. Yeah, where's the says my research? Said not by a researcher? Around here somewhere. I'm getting better at knowing where stuff is, but... Like Jordan Peterson. 50... correlation isn't causation. I don't know. 51. He actually didn't mention weed that video. Loud minority thinks they're a silent majority. Yep, there you go. Okay, I think we're good. Back at it. Hello again, everyone. How's it going? Oh, over 300 viewers right now. Damn. I must be doing good at my job. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. Don't blow it. Be entertaining. What's entertaining? Is this entertaining? I don't know what people like. No, not do your own research. I don't think he said that. He did say he did research, but I don't think he said do your own research. Hydrate. This is brief. This is only 3 minutes, but if you want an update on what's going on with the Queen of Canada, Ramana Didulo, here's a quick update.
Tonight, a community is on edge after a far-right conspiracy theorist and her followers move in and make threats.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
Starts right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Natasha Lipney in for Sam McCaig this evening.
I don't believe she's been arrested yet. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Like, the things that her cult said and wrote, I don't know Canadian law. I don't know, like, what the actual, like, line is in terms of threats, but, like, it was a pretty clear physical threat they made in the letter, but I'm sure they'll talk about it here.
Begin tonight near the Alberta border, northwest of Maple Creek, where an extremist cult leader...
Han will be leading 300,000 standards into battle one day. What if I just want to hang out and watch a movie? Why do things have to be battles? Can't we just be chill? Like, we can watch Flubber. Don't you guys want to watch Flubber with me? Cashel Gladio says, you don't know what we like. We like when you do things and talk about the stuff. That can't be right. I'm going to skip the Black's Law Dictionary. Just because I'm not doing it on tinfoil days. We already have bingo that slows it down, so I don't want constant stoppages. Just a call I'm making, so save your points for tomorrow or another day.
And her followers have set up camp in a small Saskatchewan village. The group has called for public execution of elected officials and other people.
What's the craziest person I've ever seen? I don't know if I'd say craziest. The most out there? I guess it depends on what you mean. Are you talking about people who are actually probably clinically schizophrenic, or do you mean like people who might not have a diagnosable mental illness but just believe wild things? Because those are different answers. I'm not going to discuss the clinical one because, you know, yikesy. But in terms of people that don't seem like they have some sort of severe mental illness, Call is out there. But he's marginal for me on whether or not he's got something going on. Moose Guy's definitely ill. Like, he went away, so I think he actually got help, because the video right before he disappeared was him saying that he got visited by the cops for a wellness check, and then he stopped posting videos. So I'm thinking that after the wellness check, because he was very out there, and clearly, like, not in reality, and he was a danger to himself and others. So I'm kind of assuming the cops took a report, left, and then later came back with the authority to maybe with adult services or something to get him some help. But I don't know. Is Wackadoo ableist? I don't know. I'm trying my best. It's so hard when you cover people who believe really outlandish things. I really am trying not to use terms like crazy, insane, stuff like that. I am trying to go more generic, like cuckoo or out there or wild, you know? Because I don't want things to be stigmatized.
People in the area. Laura Sharpaletti has this story.
What used to be a school is now home to a cult. Self-proclaimed Queen of Canada, Romana Didulo, is known as a far-right QAnon conspiracy theorist. Didulo
Q claimed as a source. Bingo
and some
card.
of her followers call themselves the Kingdom of Canada. The group arrived in Richmond on September 15th. They've been staying at the former school, invited by the property owner. Locals say they're nervous about the cult's extreme belief and behavior and the potential impact on children there. On September 24th, the village held a protest outside the school, calling for the cult to leave. Then this week, Didulo's followers emailed a threatening letter to village administration, saying if it didn't follow the decrees of the Queen, they would face judgment, and if found guilty of crimes against humanity or treason, you will face publicly broadcast executions upon yourselves and undeserved devastation upon your children, grandchildren, and families.
Like, I'm pretty sure you can't just write an email directly threatening the local government, or else you're gonna murder them in public and also their children. Like, I don't think that's legal.
The mayor says residents are on edge.
People are just staying in their houses more, and their heads are on 360. They're swiveling, whatever. Like, and that's what it should be. But it shouldn't be for the kids. Shouldn't be for families. It's just something that our small community in Richmond, our great community, should not have this.
An expert who studied Dedulo and her followers says the threats should be taken seriously. So does the mayor.
We should not ignore it. We don't know what their intentions are. We don't know how seriously any one of her followers take it. And we do know that she is true believers.
What does happen if something does happen to a kid, and then everybody says, oh, maybe we should have did something, and that's too late then.
Premier Scott Moe says the Ministry of Justice is discussing the situation.
I most certainly will provide, I think, the community some advice and some options on.
Didn't Marcel mess around in the exact way? He was actually less. I would argue that Marcel was a lot less specific, and he didn't, like, email it to the guy, as far as I know. It was just a general video. So I'm pretty sure this is actionable. Gnome Pickle says Canadians held a protest to get rid of these folks. That's pretty intense considering this is how they deal with bears. Oh god.
The go. Okay? I need you to go. Thank you.
It's actually funny. That reminds me of a time I was up really late at night when I used to live in Saginaw at some point, and my trash kept getting, you know, broken into. I thought it was raccoon or something. I didn't know. So one night it's like 2 a.m. or something, and I'm playing video games or watching a movie or something, and I hear stuff right outside, and I go and I open the door and I look, and it's a possum. It's a fucking possum, and possums are great. But I was just like, really? Come on. And it literally just walked away. Like, it's fine. Possums are great. They eat ticks, which is great. But, you know, don't eat my garbage, please.
How they can, you know, ultimately protect the serenity of their community. And the government would support that.
We're monitoring very closely the commentaries, the activities of the group, you know, to gauge, you know, whether or not there's aspects of criminality with respect to their activities.
RCMP say they are increasing their presence in the village. They also say they're investigating the threats of public execution. Laura Sharpaletti, CBC News, Regina.
I hope that situation de-escalates. Because cults... scary. You never know what's gonna set stuff off with cults. Oh boy, who are we gonna cover? You thought it was gonna end with me fighting a bear? Have you met me? I couldn't fight a possum. Like, I'm quite pacifist. I'm quite a pacifist. I'll run if I have to, but I'm not.
This is the Lindell Report.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Mike Pillow just has a show that he does, like, regularly. I'll censor this more for you guys so you can see it. So that's fun.
You news combined with hope by offering practical and achievable action points to assist you in defending and preserving faith and freedoms. And now, here is your host, Mike Lindell.
Canned applause. You know, like the very real large audience of people that like Mike Lindell. It's so funny. I don't believe this because this says this channel has 200,000 subscribers. There are 5 comments. Like, he's making up the numbers, right? Hydrate.
All right, Brandon House here. We'll have Mike join us here in just one moment, and Mike will bring you an update on the latest attacks on My Pillow. So don't go anywhere.
Oh my goodness, that's the breaking news I'm here for. What's the current state of Mike Pillow's failed pillow company?
Mike will be joining us here in just one moment. Of course, our hearts go out to what is happening to those in Israel and to what is happening in Israel. And of course, we covered that extensively live here from our headquarters throughout the weekend and on today's program at 1 to 2. Mike may have a little bit to say about that as well, as he is someone that has traveled.
Get to the pillow man.
Back door, $49.98. 77.
Oh my god, this is a
Towels,
long ad
blankets,
for
pet
fucking
bed, slippers,
pillows.
sandals, mattresses. The other products.
Oh,
on
it's
here
still
from
going.
the-
Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's like a 3-minute ad for pillows. God damn.
So everybody use that promo code L77.
Pop up. So if you're
even
wanting to
Paul
support Mike-
Verhoeven couldn't imagine the dystopian horror of someone creating a fascistic fake news network in order to shill your failing pillow company. Like, that just feels like Mad Libs. It feels like dystopian Mad Libs.
If you're looking for some great gifts, great Christmas gifts and things, please consider shopping not only at mypillow.com and using the promo code L77, but shop at mystore.com and use the promo code L77. Let's see what we got here on the next page. Well, we don't guess have
Brandon!
because Mike is here. Hey, Mike.
How you doing? I see you're selling away. Way to go. Yeah, we need all the help we can get. So everybody use that promo code L77. I want everyone to see the 1-800 number, everybody. This is really important. We've been attacked. My home reps, although we just got a good ruling in North Carolina, everybody, these states tried to stop my call center from working from home on commission. And, you know, it's like, what about everybody else's call center? What, my employees who got to come after my pillow? Shame on.
I would imagine whatever's going on with your company is the law of the state and applies to all businesses within that state.
On you, you know. There it is, everybody. 800-799-7492.
Yeah, he's continually said he's broke. I don't know how much liquidity he actually has.
We put everything on sale. I don't know, Brad. Did you show him the radio podcast square?
I did.
Yeah, because you guys, there's specials there that right now we're going to be doing a big ad campaign starting next Monday on all the networks. You might have known, Brad, we've kind of on TV. You haven't seen us on TV for the longest stretch ever, about 3 weeks now. We took a break during all this time, and part of it was because we didn't have our drivers in yet, which I call our TV products. There was a delay. And why was there a delay, you ask? Well, the reason there was a delay is when in June, when the media started piling on saying, my pillow is selling everything in an auction. And reality is we were selling stuff that we use in retail because we don't have our retailers anymore.
So you were liquidating stuff that you weren't using because you need money. What's inaccurate about it? Stromboli says Mike Pillow also tours with televangelists ranting against abortion rights. My grandmother tried to convince me to go to one of his services near my town. She clearly hasn't picked up that I'm a Satanist.
And but I imagine it being just an auction. 52, they're doing it at the shop. What's a big online auction? So all the media pounced on that and said my pillow's going under. Well, it made.
You have said multiple times yourself that you're broke and have no money and you're like $5 million in debt. Those are your words, Mike.
Vendors, banks that I have where we get, let's say, our sheets, our Giza sheets. By the way, I can't make them here in the U.S., everybody. There's no spinners or weavers left in the U.S. to make this quantity of sheets over a 250 thread count. They have a line there. So everything I do make in the that I can make in the USA, I do make in the USA. But anyway, they cut their credit lines, so they had to delay shipping for a month. So all the stuff, we don't even get some of these products you're going to see until a week from now. And so there's been
So your credit was cut because, again, you're clearly in financial straits. So you're trying to say, like, oh, you're acting like everything's wrong. Our merchandise is just behind because our banks that give us loans reduced our line of credit. Like, that's indicative that you're doing badly? What are you... You're not covering this the way you think you are?
Big delay, which has also hurt my pillow. You can't sell products out of an empty cart. But we can sell our My Pillow 2.0, the My Pillow mattresses 2.0, the My Pillow topper 2.0. Those are products 100% made here in the USA, every part of it. That's what keeps my factory busy and everything. And
What percentage of CNN's day is spent covering the personal business of the person who owns it? Like, they don't... Like, that doesn't primarily exist to just shill, you know, dog shit pillows? Kind of feels like this is just a weird ad.
I just want to tell everybody, we're not going anywhere. There's rumors out there flying in the media. I want to show everybody how horrific what is it, Morning Joe and that Mika lady. I don't know, did we show that the other night, Brand? Let's show it again. Have you seen it?
I've seen it, but I don't think we've showed it.
I've heard the pillows are terrible. My pillows are made out of memory foam waste. At least the original ones were. I don't know about these new ones he's talking about, but the business model of my pillow was other companies that use memory foam for whatever have a bunch of scrap left over after they cut the memory foam into whatever shape. So he, when he started the company, the way this would work is he would buy the bulk waste, random shaped, you know, memory foam, tear it up into different, you know, pieces, and then they'd all go in the pillow. So the pillows are basically just a bag full of used, or not used, surplus waste memory foam. I've heard they're not very comfortable. I've heard they're very lumpy because, like, you know, it's not one solid piece of memory foam. It's a bunch of chunks of memory foam all in a pillow thing. So...
the air. You gonna roll it?
Yeah, you guys gotta see this, how they hate me. They hate me. Why do they hate me?
Because you're just bonkers. You're just unstable and not a good person to do business with, would be my guess. So it's like the Ocean Gate of pillows? Yes.
They hate me because I want to save our country and secure our elections.
Is that why? Is that why, Mike? Is that why?
You know, I was the media's darling, and now look what they say about
So when? When were you the media's darling? What are you talking about?
me. Look how they've turned these two, they call themselves journalists.
All right. Okay. Lawyers defending the My Lumpy Pillow guy are seeking
a sack of foam, basically. Unstable Deadbeat says, please don't refer to him as unstable. This is very insulting to me.
to dump him as a client.
Why?
Apparently because he hasn't paid them.
This is kind of going around in Trump
It's
circles.
a theme.
It is a theme.
Those attorneys are currently defending
Mr. Pillow.
My Lumpy Pillow founder.
Yeah.
Gnome Pickle says, funnily enough, I saw some My Pillows at a Bed Bath & Beyond when I went there to refill a CO2 tank for a soda stream and can confirm they feel like garbage. That must have been before they pulled them. At some point after, you know, Mike did all of the really extreme stuff that he's done over the past, you know, 3 or 4 years or whatever. Bed Bath & Beyond pulled his pillows, and I shit you not, there are right-wing people who have blamed Bed Bath & Beyond going bankrupt on the fact that they pulled my pillow. Because as you know, Bed Bath & Beyond is famous for only selling my pillows.
And CEO Mike Lindell and his business against defamation claims from voting machine companies and Smartmatic and Dominion Voting Systems, along with a third lawsuit brought by a former Dominion employee. All three claimed their reputations were damaged by Lindell's repeated claims of fraud surrounding the 2020 presidential election. But now, attorneys for Lindell claim he is months behind on paying their legal bills, amounting to millions of dollars. And they say they can no longer afford to represent him.
Does nobody in this crowd understand that you get retainers from these people? I mean, because they don't pay. I mean, Lindell, of course, praised his lawyers yesterday.
They would pay?
I know.
What lawyer thought that guy would pay his bills, and Rudy Giuliani would pay his bills?
Well,
and quite frankly, Donald Trump when he runs out of money.
Mr. Pillow told NBC News that he would gladly keep paying them if he wasn't broke. But of course, as my grandfather could have told him if he'd only listened to him, don't try to run a pillow business, an online pillow business, while you're trying to foment, a coup.
Yeah.
And as Willie said,
I feel like I could be a shit lib on MSNBC. It doesn't seem that difficult. You read the copy, you throw a few snarky jabs in there that have no real punch because it's not about any actual material concerns. It's just to make, you know, the audience feel better about themselves. I could do that. I could do that real good.
In between your fried chicken and your swim in the lake, calling for martial law. Willie, that never works.
Yeah, by the way, your grandfather was a visionary that he saw online shopping coming that long ago.
He did.
It's just really,
he did.
really something. And with the pillows specifically.
This guy, born in like '06, and he saw this coming.
All right.
Wait, but by the way, so
Just
Mike,
go.
in all seriousness, Mike Lindell has been sued by Dominion for
I just want
you, but
I
they
just
don't
want to
get
get back
sued.
to
but-
Mike. Because I'm sure he's so salty when people talk about him. It's funny.
It's like your neck is hiking the Appalachian Trail, and that's what some people say.
Many people are saying, yeah.
Many people are saying that. Anyway.
So, Mike, what I'd like to know is how can they get on there and say that you're trying to foment an insurrection?
Remember that time you literally walked into the White House? Hold on. Mike Lindell. Plan. White House. This is so funny. It's comical that he got caught. So, okay, he got caught, I don't know if you remember, walking into the White House with these documents, and then someone zoomed in on them. I believe, where's the photo where they zoomed in? Here we go. CEO Mike Lindell shows off his notes before going into the West Wing at the White House on Friday, January 15th, 2021. So a little bit after January 6th. Oh no, it didn't load all the way. That's a shame. I'll read what it says. Something taken immediately to save the United States Constitution. Now is acting national security, something. It goes on to talk about, like, enacting martial law. Like, you can literally see it. Literally claiming foreign interference in the election. Trigger something powers. I assume that's supposed to be some sort of emergency powers. Make clear this is a China, Iran, something, domestic actors. Insist Frank, like, it's literally a plan to, like, try and enact martial law. And steal the country. It was literally a plan he printed out to fucking do a coup. How dare he be like, oh, they're saying I did this thing that I did demonstrably.
That you don't pay your bills. They can say these things about you, but they don't.
That is true.
Don't get sued, but you express your opinion about a piece of equipment or piece of.
If what is being said is incorrect and that is demonstrably true, then sue them. You'll get money. Sue them for libel. Sue them for slander. But you're not. You know why? Because you know your suit wouldn't hold up in court.
Of equipment that are paid for by tax dollars and used like a utility company, part of our infrastructure, which you would think anyone could talk about, say what they wanted all day long about. You get sued for billions. They just got on there and said you are fighting for an insurrection to overthrow the government and you don't pay your bills.
No lies detected.
And yet that's not a problem?
Well, it's Brandon, if I just Googled evil and there was a picture of Mika and Joe there, and no, I'm serious. They've got such evil in their hearts. I pray for them that just pure evil and how they're behaving, and they the hate that comes out of their mouth. You're going after lumpy pillows, but they don't have them. Oh, a lot of people are saying it. It's an attack on my pillow. These are
yeah, they're making fun of you. That's not hate. That's mockery that you're sensing.
Families. They have families. They've been working 20 years with me. A lot of them with me. And I want to tell you something. MSNBC. I advertised on there too, Brandon, and I advertised on there for over a decade. And
okay, and then they stopped airing your ads because you're awful.
You know what? Their bills got paid very timely.
Yeah, that was when your business was doing okay because you hadn't made a public ass of yourself. No one is saying you didn't have a successful business. Obviously you did. It's why you have a platform in the first place, is because you had a successful business where you made, in my opinion, a questionable product, but it sold, and you made money. and then you ruined your life and your business by making poor decisions. We know what happened. No one is saying you didn't pay your bills back in the day. They're saying right now you're not, because you're broke, which is true. Like, there's a reason he's not saying, that's a lie, I paid those lawyers. Because he clearly didn't. Like, it's not false what they're saying. He's completely changing the subject to, like, I advertised there for 10 years and they always got paid. They're not talking about that. They're talking about today, and your lawyers who just quit with the claim that you were months behind and owe them money. That is what is being discussed.
You know, my pillow,
I have seen the Doctor Who magic cards. I don't do Magic the Gathering, but the art is gorgeous.
Never, ever, until you start paying $2 million a month lawyer bills, you're going to go through a lot of money, and you're going to get to a point where, do I want to keep paying this lawfare, or do I have to stop this in the sand?
Okay, so you're literally saying that it's true. It's not libel or slander. You stopped paying your lawyers because you made bad decisions and allegedly slandered a company all over the public by telling lies about the election and their products. So now you're broke. These are all your fault. You're acting as though this is someone else's fault. You fucked around. This is the find out part.
And that, what am I fighting for if we're going to be out of money and we don't have a business?
At this point, you're fighting for survival.
Money and for all these jobs. So I'm going to tell her, her that they, what the media has done, they've tried nothing but trying to destroy my pillow. What they neglect to say there too is when they talk about insurrection and all this stuff. No, it's my First Amendment right of free speech to say, hey,
it's your First Amendment right to say, like, opinions. You could come out here and say that you think that the election is fraudulent and stolen, whatever. That would be a lie, but it's not illegal just to lie, you know? It's not illegal to go out there and lie. What is illegal, or at least civilly you might be liable for, pending these lawsuits, is that you went out there and made very specific claims about specific companies and their products, called them fraudulent, said that they were, working with foreign operatives, claimed that they had changed votes. Like, you and your lies made a material difference to the public perception of their business. Like, you materially damaged them, and that's one of the things that you need to prove in order to show that it's, like, a case in the first place. I don't know how these lawsuits are going to go moving forward, but the idea that this is not his fault is so funny that even when we get to the find out stage, people like this, people like Donald Trump, people like Andrew Tate, they're people who talk all about, like, personal responsibility, but they're the first people to blame everyone else for their problems instead of recognizing, like, oh, maybe I made some bad decisions. Maybe I did something wrong. It's frustrating.
Yeah, we were intruded. I have evidence. We were intruded. Our elections were hacked into.
You're still doing it. The fact that you're still doing it, probably not helpful. Though I have noticed he's not mentioning specific names of the companies at this point. Probably smart. Would probably be smarter to have shut the fuck up the whole time. But to each their own.
Not just the 2020, the 2022. The computers, they're vulnerable to attacks. We were attacked. And with the uniparty, deep state globalists. But I will let us say this. You guys, I was
state on the bingo card.
And here's the language in the lawsuits. And this is My Pillow's lawsuit from Dominion to My Pillow. The CEO of My Pillow had this great marketing plan to use promo codes to make money by attacking Dominion, this company I knew nothing about, but it's a great marketing plan to make money. Now let's say, before Dominion even sued me, before I probably mentioned their name, which remember, I asked Dominion to sue me because I had all the evidence. But
how's that going?
We lost $100 million right out of the gate. What a good marketing plan, Brandon. You know, boy, would you like to try my plan? And then, no, it gets better, everybody. Then a year later, Smartmatic, who, by the way, started Lawfare on February 1st of 2020.
Lawfare is what they call lawsuits because of their bad and civilly liable behavior. They call that lawfare because they don't want to admit that they're just being sued for actions they took.
When they sued Fox News, that started Lawfare, everybody, over $2
And Fox News settled for like $1 billion and firing Tucker, which has been beautiful.
200 lawsuits, and citizens send.
You know who I haven't heard virtually anyone talk about in the last couple months? Fucking Tucker Carlson. Isn't it beautiful?
Got sent threatening letters to them in this country, and which lawfare hadn't been done since 1798 in this country. So this
is this whole like hour-long episode just him bitching about people who are accurately reporting that he's broke?
We're gonna, and then I want to take calls tonight, Brandon. There's a lot of concern out there.
Oh, he takes calls. I wonder how well those are screened.
But there's two things. She said people. Yeah, that's another story. Now, don't get me in trouble.
Okay. Enough of Mike Pillow. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick. We have the deep state, QAnon referenced, yeah, I know Tucker has his own thing on Twitter, but he's just not part of the discourse, which is nice. Hello, FBI, is this a threat? Wait, for which thing? Oh, da-da-da-da-da, for Queen Romana. Sorry, that video was so short, I almost forgot we watched it. I don't think Globalist is on here. I think that's it, unless I'm missing something. Okay. That's Gina, you all. Yeah, Gina. Oh my goodness.
The Toontown world. Is there
Thanks, Nearest Crowhill.
a possibility a cartoon world exists in an alternate reality,
No.
inhabited by entities that resemble colorful, chaotic cartoon characters? Many people might think that I have reached the peak of insanity.
Is Yells at Clouds, Old Man Yells at Clouds, or like literal chemtrail people? Literal chemtrail people.
To even entertain such a bizarre idea. This is often why reality tends to outsmart fiction.
The fuck does that even mean? 1 second.
And gosh darn it, inside is.
Oh god. What?
The hell? No. No way.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Maybe later.
Human imagination struggles to come to terms with its bizarreness. The existence of a Toontown world parallel to our world sounds like something you would see in fictional movies.
Yep. Cartoons. Why do I have to have this discussion with an adult? Cartoons are an illusion. They are a series of still drawings, or the digital equivalent, that are then played in a sequence more quickly than the human eye can discern, as to give the illusion of motion and life. You might as well be talking about, is there a cave drawing dimension where all the characters from cave drawings live? Like, no, that's not how this works. The fact that your brain can conceptualize something as a being doesn't mean it's real. It's an illusion. It's a fictional character. Lance says, the Kurter Burger is back at Culver's. Thoughts, Hannah? My dad doesn't like it. I've actually never had it. I'll have to try it. I like Culver's in general. Logarth says, stairs and furry.
Such as Cool World, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Space Jam, and Looney Tunes back in action.
Trying to think of more. Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
In the movie Cool World, Frank Harris goes through a bizarre accident and is transported into the cartoon realm of
Monkey Bone? Although that's stop motion, but I'll count Monkey Bone.
Cool World. In this realm, he remains the only human among various animated cartoon characters for years. Eventually, artist Jack Deebs also enters
Mary Poppins, of course.
Cool World and sets
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
his lustful sights
Did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang do that? I've not seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
on his own creation, a blonde bombshell named Holly Wood. However, excess intermingling between cartoons and humans is said to lead to dire consequences, a risk Jack seems ready to take. There's a very interesting scene in the movie Cool World where...
What about Little Monsters and Drop Dead Fred? Well, those aren't cartoon universes. Little Monsters is just a monster universe, same idea as Monsters, Inc., and Drop Dead Fred is Imaginary Friends. That's not a cartoon world.
the blonde beauty Holly transforms into a jester.
What was that Gene Kelly movie? Oh, the one with the dancing, oh god. I don't remember the name.
Clown-like entity. As I've mentioned numerous times, I have read and heard numerous testimonies of people who have taken powerful, mind-altering psychedelics.
Wait a minute, you're telling me these people took powerful, mind-altering psychedelics and then saw hallucinations? Wow, that never happens. It must be supernatural.
Such as DMT.
This would be like saying, oh wow, I've heard from many people that they drank a whole fifth of vodka and everything got slow and blurry and they passed out. It must be supernatural. Like, no, you're doing a drug and that's what the drug does. Like, you know that's what the drug does, right? Why are you taking it if you don't know that's what the drug does? Jesus. Daima Oni-chan, thanks for 19 months, says, 19 months, thanks for being such a reliable source of entertainment and community for so long. Thanks for being part of the community.
Most common experience I would always hear from people that have messed with psychedelics is that they would be transported to another alternate reality.
You're hallucinating. Again, I've taken hallucinogens in my life. In my younger days, when I was wilder, I've taken hallucinogens. It's a drug. It's a drug. You're hallucinating. That's the point.
Known as hyperspace. When these people entered into hyperspace, they would encounter jesters or clown-like beings in chaotic scenarios. But there is another strange place within hyperspace known as the Toontown World, a dimension that looks like a cartoon.
Wow, you were really high and you saw a cartoon world? That never happens.
Filled with wacky,
I haven't seen Loki Season 2's premiere yet, so I don't know.
Chaotic cartoon entities. I'm going to read testimonies of people who have
One time, I took mushrooms and watched Rick and Morty, and it was super dope. This was before we knew what we knew about the shitbag. White Soma says, have you read about the claims against the Sound of Freedom guy, Tim Ballard? This keeps happening. I'm not surprised, though, the way he's depicted in the movie. Extremely narcissistic way of looking at yourself. Sound of Freedom's Tim Ballard took ketamine and talked to a, quote, dead prophet. Yeah, I've not seen that, but that doesn't surprise me. Oh, where did that go? It's around here somewhere. Where's the cartoon thing? Did I miss it? Sorry, I have like 10,000 tabs open. Not that one. This one. There we go. South Park Heavy Metal episode, the cat drugs one, cheesing. I guess. They're already animated, but it's a different animated universe. I don't know. I don't like South Park. Heavy Metal's fun, though. I don't know if I'd say it's a good movie, but the art is really fun.
Unfortunately, been to this terrifying, surreal world. I had a strange breakthrough experience and need to ask if anyone else has had visuals like cartoons. I am an experienced user and thought I had seen all the things DMT had to offer, but this time was different. I went up to 30 milligrams, and on the third hit, I held it as long as I could. I laid back, closed my eyes, and was flying down a multicolored tunnel with what looked like a genie or something in the distance, and he's anticipating my...
Again, you are on drugs. You are literally describing a drug trip. You are not going anywhere. Your brain is firing signals that aren't real. Like, as real as, like, the fact that, like, I see things and my brain interprets them because of physical objects in my environment. When you take a hallucinogenic drug like this, it sends signals to the visual part of your brain that are not based on any material reality. That's the point. That's why it's a fucking hallucinogen.
My arrival, it seems.
God.
As I finally let out my hit, the visuals become extremely vivid and very speedy. Sometimes speediness has to do with how long you hold your breath, but this seemed different. The visuals became very jumpy and looked like something out of a Ren and Stimpy cartoon or like 90s edgy cartoon stuff. I grew up in the 90s.
Wow, and the visuals you were experiencing during this hallucinogenic drug trip were related to something that you grew up with? Wow, what a coincidence. It must be magic.
Childhood household memories were playing out in air-bridged, weird-looking ways, some pleasant, some not. After a few minutes of this, I opened my eyes and turned my head, and with open eyes, I was surrounded by these weird cartoon creatures of different shapes and voices. One of them was this insectoid robot thing, but acted like a friendly dog wanting attention. There were these flaming ghosts that were quickly darting and popping up randomly. One of them sang a song to me, and it sounded like a song Danny Elfman, Oingo Boingo, The Simpsons theme, and lots of Tim Burton movies would write.
That's a weird mix of things.
I had very limited contact with any familiar visuals or telepathic entities. Normally, my breakthroughs are very beautiful, vast sometimes, overwhelming, weird, with Mayan or Hindu imagery. Anyone else had visuals that aren't typical? I tried DMT for first time. I went to the Simpsons house. I had my first actual DMT.
Okay, I'm gonna read this because everyone hates his voice, including me. I had my first actual DMT trip for the first time ever last week. I took 2 large hits of DMT and I had my first actual DMT trip. I had tried it before with no heavy effects. The best way I can describe it was that I was in a cartoon, more specifically The Simpsons house. The couch I was sitting on was pink and the front door looked as if someone had drawn it. The lighting was also very cartoon looking. Everything was made up of much more simple shapes. I was really not expecting such heavy visuals. I looked at my buddy who gave me the DMT and he looked completely red, like a comic book character. I would say that I didn't break through, and I was offered to try it again, but I had seen enough that day. Again, you're on drugs. You're doing drugs. It's the drugs. It's the drugs.
DMT trip for the first time ever last week. I took 2 large the book character. I would say it's inspired to talk that day. And now that I've discussed the Toontown world, I want to talk about 3 strange criminal cases involving people being inspired by cartoons to murder. The first case in...
I'm sorry, guys. I guess I'm not doing the internet correctly. This is how I should talk to entertain you, right? This is the cadence that people talk at and listen.
Involves a woman by the name of Justine Johnson. According to the police report, she allegedly told investigators that
This woman had mental illness. This woman had mental illness. How fucking dare you take an actual tragedy and try and apply your bullshit nonsense to this? You should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Drug-induced hallucination of SpongeBob SquarePants on her television had commanded her to fatally stab her 3-year-old daughter. She claimed that the voices from the TV threatened to kill her unless she hurt her daughter. A CPS official told police that Johnson claimed she was going through heroin withdrawal and used cocaine the day she allegedly killed her daughter.
Marcus Drake says, I don't know if you saw, but George Santos is up to 23 federal charges. Get him the fuck out of here.
Who had turned 3 years old 2 days before she was murdered.
Anonymously says, this is your daily dose of DMT.
Johnson told CPS that she blacked out and did not remember hurting her daughter. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The second case involves a young man by the name of Brandon Hole.
You're literally just going to point out people with different mental illnesses or problems and then say, well, is this indicative of a real thing? No, unfortunately, humans are prone to mental illness. People can have fantasies and delusions that are completely divorced from reality about all sorts of different topics. So statistically, sometimes, if there's groups of people who are delusional and get obsessive about certain things, sometimes the obsession someone's going to come up with is something cartoon related, whether it be Applejack here or Ember from Danny Phantom.
The My Little Pony.
Doesn't mean these things are true. It means that those people were unfortunately suffering from a mental illness that went untreated, and then they hurt other people.
Mass killer. Brandon Hole was the gunman who killed 8 at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. After this horrifying incident, investigators continued to seek for a motive in the massacre. He was obsessed with the children's cartoon, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Brandon Hole's bizarre final Facebook post offered little insight on what drove him to the shooting. I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife. My life has no meaning without her, wrote Hole on Facebook, less than an hour before the massacre. And the final and most shocking case is Randy Stair, the Danny Phantom killer. Randy Stair, also known as Andrew Blaze,
oh, this one sucks. This one sucks so bad.
Was a troubled YouTuber who believed he was going to cross
This is the thing I was referencing.
over into the cartoon world after he died. Randy Stair was a troubled man who found himself obsessed and identifying with a cartoon character by the name of Ember McLean from the Nickelodeon show Danny Phantom. Ember was an unpopular high school kid with dreams of becoming a rock star. Randy Stair also had his difficulties in high school and was working toward his own YouTube career. In the years leading up to the massacre, Stair had become fixated by a Nickelodeon cartoon character called Ember, who he would regularly post videos about, calling her his queen. He even created an animated short series called Ember's Ghost Squad. On June 7th, 2017, 24-year-old Randy Stair went to work at Wise Markets in Eaton Township, Pennsylvania. He worked the late night shift and it was almost closing time, around 11 p.m. He carried a duffel bag with him and wasted no time putting his plan into action. He went to the back of the store and blocked out the emergency exit before returning to his duties. He then proceeded to kill stories. I hope many of you will take this video as a warning to not mess with the devil's devices.
Fuck you. Unironically, this person... The fact that this person feels comfortable using actual tragedies caused by people's mental illness to then try and justify their own nonsense beliefs is gross. It's really gross. Let's move on. Jesus. I have to use the bathroom real quick, so while I do that, let's put something on for you guys.
Balls Guarana.
I will be right back, okay?
Come, I'd do anything for Jesus. I found over 1,700 times in the Word of God where this word is used, come, and that's not cometh and the rest of the comes, but that's just come. Preaching my heart out for 45 minutes to an hour on that one word, come, and it was one of our Lord's favorite words. Come unto me, come and drink, come and dine. Jesus said, come, come, and come, 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 and it goes on and on and on. I know this is dumb, friends, but there are people that still haven't got it, so bear with me. When I say come, it means come. And I'm coming, you're coming. When I turn to my son and I say come, I want them to come. That word come is universal in its application. Come. What did Jesus say to his disciples? Come. There's no room for discussion, friend. Guess what? Come, come. It commands obedience. Come, come, come. How many have had the Holy Ghost come in you? You come, come. He was crucified for you. He died for you. He did everything for you. It's time for you to come. He's come. He's already come. He wasn't just a baby in a manger, friend. That was God coming. I love the way the Christmas story starts out, because God came and then the wise men had to come. The shepherds had to come. And ever since Jesus came, he said, I've done my part. Now you come. You come. I came. You come. Come quickly. What is this hesitating stuff? That's demonic, friend. You're going to die. And one day when you die, you're going to be with him whether you like it or not. And I don't want him to look at me when I die and say, I've been calling you all your life. Now through death, you've had to come. I said, come, 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 come. For those of you that don't believe that, friend, you need to read your Bible.
You're welcome. Oh, this is a weird, I think, comedy sketch that a flat earther made. It's awkward. Oh, and also the whole premise depends upon if you're familiar with the 70s game show $25,000 Pyramid. So I hope you're familiar with the $25,000 Pyramid.
From Television City in Hollywood, this is the $25,000 Flat Earth Pyramid. Now, you've already met the players, and we have had our commercial break. Now, let's get back to the action. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Dick Clark.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, very, very much. Welcome back to the $25,000 Flat Earth Pyramid. And today we are looking back on the show in which we first became the Flat Earth Pyramid and the series of circumstances surrounding that. First, I want to read a poem I wrote in the form of a letter addressed to NASA from all of us here at CBS. Dear NASA, you're liars, you're scum, you're a national disgrace.
It probably is AI. I'm not sure if that's even close to Dick Clark's voice, though. I don't know what he sounded like.
Scuba diving and painting pictures and telling us that it's space.
Flat Earth on the bingo card.
Faking space, you losers. You pretend wannabe clowns. Soon, not a person alive won't want to see your circus shut down. If one of our answers is ever things NASA would say, I would give clues like, I'm a fraud, I go nowhere, and probably gay. So there you have it.
Oh!
Also, I have here
homophobia, too.
A ticket for NASA to a personal ass kicking from me, Dick Clark. So that will be at will call. Just say you love balls when you come pick them up, and we'll know that it's you, NASA. Where were we? Yes, let's get back to our very tight and exciting episode. Beatrice, you have 17 points. Your opponent has 13 points. She only needs 4 to tie and 5 to win. Hey, you have a chance, albeit very little. Okay, Barry, you're going to be giving Eleanor. You will receive. Barry, I just got this note here. It appears your mother has passed away. You can worry about it after the show. 30 seconds on the clock. Your category is famous scientists.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
He's the token black guy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He literally has a degree, like, whatever your personal feelings on, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson's personality are, he has a PhD. Like, he's not token anything, you fucking racist. He literally is, like, the head of the New York, oh god, why am I blanking on the fucking name? I'm so sorry. The New York Planetarium and stuff. he was actively involved in the decision to reclassify Pluto as a dwarf planet. Like, you don't have to like the guy personally, but to act as though he hasn't earned his, like, renown is just shitty and racist.
He's the one who looks gay.
Oh, Brian.
Again, it's just homophobia? Is that all you have?
He's little and Asian and looks like a troll.
Oh, Machu Picchu. Shoot, I don't remember his name. Pass.
It's just all shit that's offensive and racist. What the fuck? I hadn't gotten this far into the video when I, like, was looking for stuff.
He's the loser who married his first and second cousin and lied a lot. The Jew.
Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Overt anti-Semitism on the bingo card.
He's the loser who gave us heliocentricity.
Nicholas Copernicus.
Yes. He said he wanted nothing to do with gravity.
Edwin Hubble. Galileo.
Pass! He raped a few women.
Neil Tyson.
What?
Bill Nye. Richard Dawkins.
It's a tie. We'll break the tie right after this.
This is from Jeranism. Like, this isn't some obscure Flat Earth channel. This is one of the biggest Flat Earth channels that still exists. He has 160,000 subscribers.
Hi, I'm Dick Clark, and like all of you, I want to know where I live. And that's why I use the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac.
Link. Jitara says, I've been fighting against this Gen AI kind of technology for almost 2 years. People saying, oh, hee, people just use it for funny memes, lol. And then I point to people using it for shit like this. Using the voices of people to make them say shit like this. He was fired after accusations of sexual harassment. It's good to know.
Clock app. You should get it today. Try out the new profiles in the Friend Finder. Learn how seasons work and answers to your other questions. Check the new featured video daily or watch any from the past. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Are you a blue dot? Tiebreaker time, Barry. Fastest to 7. Describe these words that start with the letter J.
Okay.
Ready? Go.
9/11 was a...
hoax.
No, was an... Inside.
Job.
Yes.
Marcus Drake says, also I know he's known as the funny science channel guy, but Michio Kaku is literally one of the founders of string theory, so, you know, a pretty big deal. Michio Kaku is an entertaining communicator, but he's also, since he considers himself a futurist, the problem with people who consider themselves futurists is that often they'll talk about things that are very exciting, but our understanding of them is incredibly rudimentary, if not entirely hypothetical. So he'll get really excited and say things definitively as if they're true, but, like, are they? I don't know. Again, nothing against Michio Kaku personally. I just do think he's... How do I put this? He's the Peter Molyneux of science communicators.
Probably orchestrated by the...
Yes, Will Kale. Yeah.
Jews.
Yes.
Alright, again, here's the link to the video if you'd like to do anything in particular with it, and I am done with that, because I am angry and disgusted, so let's move on.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County.
Can you request a cleanse? You know what? I think that's a good idea. Let's find a cleanse real quick. Something fun. Hall of Shame candidate. Yeah. Have I seen BitBoy's unhinged rant? No. I wanna, though. Oh, Ben Armstrong. Yeah, he's got his own fucking channel now. Did he do another one? Like, which video? Was there a specific one? Because I'd seen some previous ones when he got kicked out of his original channel, but I don't know, like, what. You know. Let me know. I hate Twitch times 2. Let me know. Oh, you're in an ad. Shit. Wait till the ad's done. Okay, I hate Twitch times 2. You should be back now. Which video is the BitBoy thing? Gitara says, not gonna lie, after that atrocity, seeing CC appear on screen was the equivalent to a cleanse for me. Like seeing an old friend. I'm sure that sensation will leave me when he actually starts talking, though. Probably. Ineffable effort, thanks for gifting a sub. I hate Twitch times 2. Do you know which video it was that you were talking about? Because I do like a good crypto bro meltdown. Those are always fun. He claimed he had proof of his old company being in the mafia. Is this the one?
Hey guys, I've been pretty absent lately, and I think if you read this thread here, you'll understand why. There's a lot going on here beneath the surface that people can't see. What Hit Network has done to me over the last 4 to 5 weeks, and people, there's no way the employees know that this has happened. And I think it's been easy for a lot of people to turn on me. But the fact is, guys, is my life has been on the line here. I have absolutely been given death threats from real credible people who claim that they've done it before. And if you look at, when I made the video, walking back some of the stuff that I said, because my life was on the line. Go watch that video, you can see it. Just go watch the video. Guys, I've been under threat of blackmail. I've been extorted for my Lamborghini. That's gone.
They took your... my understanding was that the Lamborghini was taken because it was a company car and you were let go from the company.
I've been under literal death threat. Literally told my wife they were going to put me under the ground, put me under concrete over money. Literally said that. I've got a recording of it, as well as we have the police report.
If you have a recording of it, can you play it?
This was said to my wife. Remember whose honor we're all supposed to be protecting here. Right? What I did to my family. That's
yeah, threat of blackmail is just blackmail, right? Saying, like, I'm gonna blackmail you, that's blackmail. You did it. By mentioning it, you did it.
Claiming. But yet, they're willing to blackmail me and say, send a text to me and my wife the night.
No, I haven't seen that video, Anti-Pretzel. I did see, oh god, those effects people who often talk about movie effects did a terrible fucking video that I saw about video game graphics and using a fucking AI filter. Awful.
Night before everything broke, or the morning that everything broke, and say, hey, guys, we can keep this a family. This is what Hit Network has done. We can keep this a family matter. We don't have to come out with everything. But if you don't make a statement by 12 o'clock today, then you're done. And that's what I was told. And so the video that came out certainly was true. I mean, most of it, except for when I walked back some things that I said about some people, namely Justin Williams. And the fact is I was under duress, and I've been under duress, guys. Like, when people see what they did...
In his arrest live stream, he claimed Maxine Walters was a mafia hitman who hired an NFL player to kill him. Is he delusional? Like, is he having, like, breaks from reality? I'm not even kidding. Ugh. Anyway.
Before this video...
This is kind of cute. This is someone did just like for fun a fan opening to a hypothetical animated Doctor Who show. I think it's cute. It's 40 seconds. We'll watch this and then we'll get back to the conspiracies. Very Gravity Falls. Alright, let's see what Chris is up to. Fill me in car on the bingo card. I already closed it out, but if you just type in Doctor Who Animated, or The Animated Adventures of Doctor Who is the official title on YouTube, you'll find it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris. From New York, Westchester County. You know, I'm sorry about the fake war that's being implemented for all of us to enjoy. And you just...
Why hasn't a Doctor Who educational show ever been made? It was called Doctor Who. Doctor Who started as a program for children that was supposed to be educational.
Seen the videos of that, right? The airstrikes and
slowly over time, the educational bits dropped away.
Buildings being blown up. But the one thing I don't understand is I'm going to post something right now. If you can get maybe 2.5 minutes into it, an airstrike. You know what an airstrike is? Yes, that's right.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Why are we fucking talking about this?
That's when they fly over and they drop bombs. That's right. Yeah, you see, now the bombs should be landing on the fucking goddamn roof of these apartment buildings. Yes, but they're not.
Okay, this is too depressing. I can't listen to him think that shit's fake. Jesus Christ. Oh...
Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Nephilim look like clowns with a focus on the Phantom Clown Scare of 1981. Now, once again, I thought I was retired, but I came across some more information that I found really interesting, so I wanted to present it to you guys. Maybe you'll feel the same way. So let's get into it. Now, prior to 2016, the clown panic, I wasn't aware of any other clown scare.
He did say Nephilim clowns, yes. He thinks that clowns are real, and that's what Nephilim looked like. Gnome Pickle says that moment when killer clowns are less triggering than CC and you realize you may live in your own personal hell.
Years in our past, but turns out in 1981, that was the precursor to what happened in 2016.
For the record, Nephilim are mentioned in the book of Genesis in the Bible, and it's also in, I guess I don't know if it still translates to Nephilim, but, the first books of the Bible are also, they're the Pentateuch, I want to say, which is also a, Hebrew. It's a Hebrew thing that was adopted by Christian. Anyway, the Nephilim are supposed to be the offspring of human women and angels. They're giants. Again, this is vague, but that's what the Bible says. So there are conspiracy theorists who believe that giants were real and that Nephilim are that and that they're a real thing. Giants on the bingo card.
And you have articles like this talking about these phantom clowns terrorizing the US since 1981. And there's other articles saying the creepy clown sightings actually started in the 80s. And I just put together several of these articles just mentioning how the clown scare of 1981 might have started in Massachusetts and it appeared across Boston. So there is an interesting aspect to this clown.
Does he know that Boston is in Massachusetts? Because he said it like they're separate. I understand that, all of Massachusetts isn't Boston, but Boston is in Massachusetts. So it's weird to me that he said all over Massachusetts and also in Boston. You could just say whatever.
Clown scare of 1981, because when we start to look at it and then look at what happened in 2016, we're gonna see a whole lot of similarities. And it almost looks like in both cases, a lot of this has been engineered. So we're gonna look at that. So we have these sightings of clowns in 1981 primarily. So let's get a little more detailed information from some of these articles. Basically, you had
I've never heard that Fenekagami, so I can't speak on it.
Children were reporting that evil clowns attempted to lure them into vans.
Who said this? Like, again, I'm not saying that there's never been creepy dudes in vans doing stuff. That obviously has happened. There have been real people who have dressed as clowns and murdered people. We know this. But, like, did a kid just say this? I don't know. Was this a thing multiple kids said that's corroborated? If it is, it sounds like you got a creep on the loose. That's not supernatural. That's just a problem where there's a creep going around dressed as a clown. Like, that's a physical threat, not supernatural.
And the clowns were actually never seen by adults. And they're...
Let me actually see. It mini-series. What year did that come out? 1990. Okay. Decade later.
There were no arrests, no photographs, and no evidence.
Movies, 1981. I'm seeing if there are any popular movies around this time that had a scary clown or something that might have... Funhouse! Funhouse, scary clown movie from 1981. I don't know. In my head, I'm just trying to think what could maybe have spurred or, primed a group of children in 1981 to think they're seeing creepy clowns,
And
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Wait, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That was 88, so 7 years later. I should have known. That's definitely a late 80s movie based on how it looks.
No abductions. And this person here, Lauren Coleman, I guess he coined the term phantom clowns. But to this day, the 1981 phantom clowns remains a total mystery. Okay.
Like, maybe it's just a thing kids were saying. Maybe it became a rumor and there was like a mass hysteria amongst kids about it. I don't know. But I don't know why you think it's magic.
So we've got all these sightings of clowns by children.
Bozo the Clown was everywhere in the 80s.
And these clowns are attempting to lure children into vans. That'll come into play later. And back in 2016, they interviewed this person again, this Lauren Coleman. He was just talking about the phantom clown theory that dates back to 1981. Okay.
Tea with Goblins says, as it's written in scripture, and so it was that the progeny of woman and angel did spread out amongst the land, bringing with them woe and discord as they went, for they traveled across the land in vehicles that appeared at once to be small, and yet when the people did witness them, many clowns did emerge, and there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth, until the Lord took mercy upon them and sent a rain of custard pies to vanquish the honking abomination. That was lovely. Purple Pondini! Thank you for gifting 20 Tier 1 subs to the community! God, you're always so generous. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what was the other thing that happened in...
Oh shit, they're Tier 2 subs, too! I just noticed. Holy fudge. Wow! God damn! Thank you, Purple!
early 1980s as well. You
I knew there was a reason purple was my favorite color.
had, and I'm just going to refer to it as the panic, just to try to avoid the algorithm, but there was a lot of concern. And
I think Purple Pondini is now canonized as a saint in the Church of Paul.
a lot of panic with regards to this right here. So that was the second thing that was going on in and around that time frame. And the third thing, as you can see here, you had the rise of Dungeons and Dragons. How Dungeons and Dragons became a part of the 1980s panic. What I'm
Satanic on the bingo card.
trying to lay out,
Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub to Purple Pondini.
there's a whole chain of
What's the difference between tiers? You get different emotes. There are higher tier emotes.
events
I think
here.
that's the main thing.
You have these clown sightings. You have the rise of this panic, and then you also have the rise and the spread of Dungeons and Dragons. And it turned out that there was a book written in 1981 called Mazes and Monsters, and they adapted that into a made-for-TV movie called Mazes and Monsters, and it
I own that. I own it.
featured actually Tom Hanks. I think it was maybe his first starring role, but
Had he already been in Bosom Buddies at this point? I also think it was originally actually called Dungeons and Dragons, and then they had to change it to Mazes and Monsters for legal reasons, because obviously you can't just call your movie the name of someone else's trademarked product.
interesting thing about that book,
Play the scene. God damn it. Okay. So it's a movie that's like a scare thing about D&D. It's supposed to be like, oh, don't let your kids play D&D because they're all gonna lose their minds and think they're their D&D characters. I don't have it on 4K. It's only out on Blu-ray. I have the 1080p.
Robbie!
Robbie! Robbie!
Bobby!
Robbie! Pardue, what are you doing?
Going to join the Great Hall.
You can't. It's a trap.
I have spells. I'm going to fly.
You don't have enough points. I am the maze controller.
Mazka? Maze control?
Yes. And I have absolute authority in this game.
Game?
Game.
Game. JJ, what am I doing here? Kate, why can't I remember?
How is Tom Hanks that young? See, the thing about linear time is it exists.
cover, if we, looks a little suspect, doesn't it? If we turn it on its side, an interesting number.
Oh my god. Spurious symbology is evidence.
But getting back to the made-for-TV movie, Mazes and Monsters, they actually flashed this graphic right at the beginning of the movie. So just an interesting side note. But another thing about the whole Mazes and Monsters and what happened around this time, there was a missing student who they believed was lost in tunnels, and there was a big media frenzy around it. There was a search to find this person who went missing, this student, and it turned out that I guess he wasn't down there, but the media was running with it anyway, and just a big debacle. But tunnels features into this as well. There's a big focus on tunnels, on Dungeons and Dragons, and on the panic.
Logarth says if you turn D&D on its side, it looks like boobies, nerd laugh.
And on the clown sightings. And also what happens after all of this, after the clown.
Yeah, this happened in Michigan. This happened at Michigan State University.
Scare, you have the release of Stephen King's It. Now it's a little bit later, 5 years after the clown scare of 81, but Pennywise is introduced after the fact. So that's an interesting chain of events. Well, Let's flash forward to 2016 when you had the clown panic of that year. So police were on alert as clowns try to lure children into the woods. So
Does that count for why is it always Michigan? Sure.
We had in 1981, there were clowns trying to lure children into vans, and 2016, clowns trying to lure children into the woods. And crisis got so bad, the White House is deferring to the FBI. Stephen King hits hysteria, and apparently the World Clown Association is not happy, or was not happy, about these people dressing up as clowns. Now, you had this craze was sweeping social media, including Twitter.
And you don't want to fuck with clowns. Don't ever mess with a group that trademark things based on painting eggs.
So we had all these clown sightings once again, and just like in 1981. Then what else went viral in 2016? I'm not going to use this word. I'm just going to say gate, try to avoid the algorithm. But this whole situation involving gate happened, went viral, and it was actually referred to as the panic of our age. So the panic related to this subject ramped up again in 2016, just like it did in 1981. Interesting. And there was another offshoot of the gate, and that is underground tunnels. Once again,
secret
these
tunnels,
things just keep popping back up. So again, I think all this, it's engineered. I don't doubt there's a reality to a lot of these things.
There isn't. It's all conspiracy nonsense.
I'm not saying there's no truth in them. I'm just saying they were being spread by the mainstream, and they're fanning the flames. Now, what happens after these things? What else happens in 2016? You have the release of Stranger Things. And what is a aspect of Stranger Things? It is Dungeons and Dragons. You had the real star of Stranger Things is Dungeons and Dragons. So the rise in popularity of Dungeons and Dragons is a direct result of Stranger Things. And they're still, I think, in season 4 of Stranger Things, it's even featured a little more prominently. It's just the timing of it all.
There's nothing to report him for. He's not done anything TOS breaking.
You know, it's just so interesting. We got...
Like, I agree, he's a conspiracy theorist and he's wrong and he's spreading misinformation, but, like, that's not against TOS.
Just like...
Unfortunately.
In 81, we have the clowns trying to lure children, all the clown sightings. Then we have the rise of this panic that goes viral due to this, and it involves these tunnels as well. And then we have the Stranger Thing rolls out, and they reintroduce Dungeons and Dragons to the mainstream once again. And what comes after this, the next year, the movie It is it comes back to the big screen. And yeah, there's just these eerie similarities. And I don't think they're just coincidences. I think this...
Coincidences on the bingo card. I'm done with clown guy. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Giants for the Nephilim thing. Why is it always Michigan? Misattribution of coincidence. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism and overt anti-Semitism. Satanic. 9/11 out of nowhere. Yes, Hannah mentions Blu-rays. I already got that, though. Recording in car, flat earth, and is that it? I feel like I'm missing something. Did I have spurious? Did I already do spurious symbology somewhere? Spurious symbology as evidence is definitely one. There it is, thank you. And yes, dimension beyond our own for the cartoon thing. Hannah is so exasperated she puts her head in her hands. Dimension beyond our own. Oh, false flag for... Yeah, we did watch enough of the CC thing where he did say false flag, so false flag. Unfortunately. Oh boy, okay. Hans Wormhat. Need I say more? How's Marcel been? Same old. I covered him recently. He's still trying to grift people with his program.
Hi everyone, it's Saturday, October 7th, 2023, when I'm making this video, and it's going to be a quick video. I'm just going to talk about this book that I recently bought, and it just got to me yesterday. I've already read almost 100 pages of it, and I'm not even a big reader or anything, and I really enjoy it so far. I think that the author was really careful about this book, and read the introduction if you're going to read it. And yeah, I mean, I'm personally the kind of person, I get triggered and turned off by the littlest thing. I get triggered by people saying planet and stuff like that.
That's probably frustrating, huh?
And I can say so far I haven't really been triggered at all in this book. I think...
Wow. Okay. All right. Lance says, me at the start of the stream, oh, I got a bunch of fucked up stuff in my card. I'm probably not getting a bingo today. CC and whatever the other one was. Hold my beer.
I think the author might even know about Flat Earth, because they mention multiple times face of the Earth. You just notice how people speak sometimes. There's a part where he starts to talk about the separation of science and religion, and even mentions Galileo, I think, but doesn't go into detail about Spaceball stuff. And doesn't affirm, like, oh, now we live on a ball. And he mentioned multiple times later, face of the Earth. So my sneaking suspicion is that maybe this author knows about Flat Earth, which that's the kind of thing that triggers me, honestly. If I'm reading a book and they start talking about, and it's like a religious book, but then they start talking about outer space, and that really takes me away from it, and I have a hard time enjoying things. So I've just appreciated that when I read face of the Earth multiple times. And so I think that this gets into an important concept of, it's an umbrella. Do you hear a lot of times umbrella corporations, and it's the rabbit hole is the fault.
Umbrella corporation has a specific meaning. It's because they're corporations that hold many smaller corporations under it. It's the larger corporation that has subsidiaries that are under it.
It's the trap. The rabbit hole is a trap. Conspiracy and big truths, they're all-encompassing ideas. They're big umbrellas, not going deeper and deeper into a rabbit hole. That's not helpful, and it's not the way that it works. That's too narrow-minded to chase rabbit holes. And
it doesn't really matter what metaphor you use to describe conspiratorial thinking. It's all bad.
So I love stuff that puts multiple topics together. Instead of getting into the minutia with the fine-tooth comb, I like things that are merging two things that people haven't thought of as being related, and big picture ideas. That is what appeals to me. And I think this book is really, really cool for that, in just merging, being unapologetic about merging psychology and religion, and talking about evil, talking about hard problems. So I just related a lot to this book. It's like, oh man, I feel like this is the type of stuff that I've been doing, that that I've been interested in, to understand evil. I feel like that's what brought me to God. For most of my life, I was agnostic, but always sided with God. I always felt like I would pray sometimes, even unknowing.
Is that agnostic? If you're praying to God, then you think there's a God. That's not agnostic.
Whether God
What?
existed or not, I still would pray sometimes, or I feel like I've always aligned myself with that side, even unknowing.
So then you weren't agnostic. You were just vaguely religious, but not super into it.
And what really made me firm in my, oh, God is real and I'm all in now. What did that for me was understanding that evil exists and is real. A dark, spiritual evil.
I understand you can be an agnostic theist. I don't think that's the way he's using those words. Like, I would consider myself an agnostic atheist. I don't think there's a God. I have no evidence for it. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's real, but I also don't claim to have any special knowledge, so I don't know. I could say the same thing about a lot of things I don't believe in, you know? But, like, I don't think that's what he meant.
That can't be explained by just the physical. I was a helic. I believed all the science nonsense. I wasn't sure
Scientism on the bingo card.
About the spiritual, but the spiritual evil was the first solid. It's what brought me to God, to see Satan in the face, to see these people who were clearly following Satan and influenced by demonic forces. It's a little bit, it feels a little strange to say that Satan brings people to God, but I'm an example of that. Seeing that is what made me go all in for Jesus.
I don't even know what that means.
So that's why I think it's an important topic. And so another reason I really liked this book is just in the introduction, because it just goes along with a lot of things that I feel. Like, I feel like it's important when you're talking about evil stuff to tell people, don't dive into this. Don't about evil.
Hans being boring today. So let's scrap that.
Okay, my friends, another shocker. Here we go. This is Vlad9VT, and he's looking at the deepest vertical cave in the world. You see this cave? It goes straight down, and I think I know what it is. Okay, this thing is absolutely enormous. Now, you see these little things right here around the edges? You see them? And then you see that little cut right running all the way down. That's something I think they call the linea alba, which is called the hunter's cut. You see again? These are, I'll just explain to you exactly what they are technically as body parts. And this,
guys, it's a kavussi.
Again, is the linea.
We've been over this.
Alba. I'm
it's a newer video, but it's the same topic.
Certain of it. Okay, here they are at the bottom of the cave. Look at the size. These are guys all the way going up. You see all of those little, that's what's called the vaginal ripples.
Roger knows what he's talking about. He knows about everything vaginal.
There's another name for it. I think it's called reggae. Here it is right here, the vaginal rugae. Every little thing gonna be all right. And that's what these sideways little ripples are.
This rock was a human on the bingo card.
Okay, this is kind of serious. You know, I'm going to present it in a kind of humorous way, but it is serious. I'm being 100% serious. And this is those rugae vaginals. And they...
Maps and Mimic says, ribbed for her pleasure.
Mine, that whole thing, exactly what you saw in that vertical cave. Okay, this
Tea with Goblin says vaginal ripples are the elite level of Kegel exercises. If you practice hard enough, you can cause seismic waves with your vagoo.
obviously the vagina is facing down, the other one was facing up. Now, I believe they may be standing down at the very bottom on the cervix. However, they could be down in the fallopian tube area, because I thought I saw some sideways caves going off. And if that's the case, they're way down at the very, very, very bottom. Now, and I did see some things that I thought could have been the uterus, because it changes from this, the reggae, to this endometrium. So I'm not really certain one way or the other, but I'm going to tell you that thing is huge. And there were huge males as well, I mean, obviously. Now, again, this is serious, but it's going to get a little bit graphic, because I'm going to be showing body parts that are normally considered taboo to be, showing, but they are archaeology.
Again, he's not actually he's showing rocks and stuff that he thinks look like these things. It's his genital pareidolia at work.
Anatomy, and the earth, as I said, and literally everything that I can find is made from creatures' bodies. What this particular cave was attached to, I don't know. But I would say, I'm almost 100% certain, it is a vagina from some kind of creature. Okay, like I said, it's going to get a little graphic. This is the vaginal ripples. And it's an actual picture of it. It's not just an artist's rendition.
Mr. Whisker says, Devil's Tower isn't a tree trunk, it's a hunk trunk.
Okay, my friends, this is an actual vagina.
It's not. That's a cave. This is a cave. This is not a vagina. This is a cave. He just thinks it looks like a vagina because he's got a broken brain.
And that little tiny...
And he's probably down bad. I don't know.
Tiny slit right up the center, that little tiny crack, is what they call the linea L.
Can't wait till I get my bottom surgery and then I can finally have my own cave.
You see that little tiny split right there? Nobody carved that into there. This is the center line of a human body. And it's where the blastula comes together and seams. When they, in the flood, they all soaked and they cracked right on that line. There's a little crack right down the center.
You know what? No Hannah regrets. I don't regret that. That was lovely.
Now this is quite obviously a vagina. Now,
Is it? Conspiracy theorist thinks the evidence is self-evident on the bingo card.
This particular woman was pregnant, and this is a coffin birth. You see this right here? Now take your time. You see the face? That's the eye. This is the nose.
You know how when you have a baby, the face emerges out of your vaginal wall? What? Also, the scale isn't right? Like, what?
Nose coming down. There's the lips. This is the arm, and the hand is broken off here. And it's broken through the tissue. You see the layers, the little flaps of tissue? Let me come in real close on that. You really can't miss it if you look at it. That is what's called a coffin birth. It tries to eject the fetus out through the walls of the vagina.
That's not the direction of the uterus, though. What? From the fucking side? What?
You see the other side?
Eject it from where?
It's nice and, smooth. It has the ripples, but that's all. And this side here has a baby popping out of it. Now, the rest is, if you have any ability whatsoever, or if you can even read an anatomy book, you can see this is exactly identical to what a human vagina is. And this is called the Tracian womb cave. And they knew what it was way back then. We just think of somebody.
You guys know how geologists sometimes identify rocks by tasting them? I wonder if that's what he based his findings here on. I'm sorry.
They carved it, or
that is Hannah regrets what she just said on the bingo card. God damn it.
just an accidental thing that happens, so it looks like that. Oh, yeah, it just looks like that. No, absolutely not. This is, in fact, 100% certifiable.
Jesus Christ. Bittergrin says again, that specific cave was carved to look like a vagina by ancient people. There are tool marks. Cool.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you could get DNA out of this thing.
I'd rather you do that than put DNA in.
Because whenever you see green...
God damn it, stop setting me up!
...stuff growing, it means there's some biological, basically fertilizer, inside the blood. It's blood in there, makes this stuff grow green. And you can see it's all pink still. And the green is growing on the bodily fluids. I know this very, very well. I see it all the time. I understand it completely. Vegetation loves blood. All right.
He's seen Little Shop of Horrors.
Here it is right there. This is the linea alba, and that's the hunter's line. It goes exactly in the center where your body met together when you were basically from the blastula.
This is the cave where they get the JO crystals? God damn it.
Stage. It's a ball and inverts and seams right up like here.
Are you one of those people that's into spelunking encouragement videos?
And that creates your abdominal cavity. And that's what cracks open after the flood. So I guess if there was giant vaginas, there were probably giant penises. Now,
well, there it is. There it is, isn't it? There it is. I don't know what to say here.
This is really not giant compared to that other one. Vagina, that thing there, wow.
Circumcised, interestingly. Apparently, the giants were circumcised. Are we going to bring that up? Like, were they Jewish? Like, what, this is just, like, did they, why? Did they also have a weird serial guy that convinced people to do circumcision for no reason? I don't know. I just put it out there. I think it's a little weird that this giant stone dick is circumcised. Gnome Pickles says, welcome to Penis Rock Park. Eruptions every hour on the hour. If they're giants, are they clowns? Apparently, if we have to mix in all the conspiracy theories.
But there's a person standing down here, so that's a fairly good-sized guy. And you can see circumstances.
Maybe the past is just like the same as the present, but bigger. Like Galactus in the Marvel universes. They just keep getting tinier.
Well, were they all circumcised?
Oh, no, I was joking. Okay, he brought this up. Okay, all right. Roger, please stop. Roger, please find literally any other thing to spend your time doing, because you are presumably retired and in the last years of your life, and you are spending it trying to look at rocks to see dick. If you want to see dick, there are so many other options. You don't need to go looking for it in rocks.
No. And why is it so erect?
I don't know how to answer that question for you, Roger. I really don't.
Well, it's called, I think it's called angel's envy or something like that. It's the penis becomes turgid and swollen and hard when you die in some cases, I guess. That's what I've been led to believe. I guess I'll find out. See, here they have a pagan. Well, what can I say? This is what it is.
This is my preference in rock formation. God damn it! Stop it! Shut up! Shut your fucking mouth!
The earth was a creature and a body and a corpse. I mean, you gotta admit, this is resourceful. I mean, who would ever think of making a penis into their home? But, you know, hey, it worked.
You think it's a penis house? You think that this is a penis house? You think they're living in a penis?
It looks like it's pretty solid.
Right on, bro, huh?
Here's another coffin berth. These caves are the digestive systems. They are the urinary tracts. Some of them are just blood vessels because they're giant. The creatures were absolutely stunningly gigantic. Some of the creatures that I have shown are well over 1,000 miles long. 1,000 miles. Think of the digestive system if it was just a few hundred miles. Think of the sizes that we're talking about. And you can see them, Luray Caverns, all of these places where they have the caverns and the stalactites are forming and all that, stalagmites. That is enzymes from bodily organs that are in the digestive system that exude enzymes that break down molecules and turn them into solutions. And then they reform as they drip down on these stalactites and form these...
I think he's covered Mystery Flesh Pit. He recognizes that it's fictional, but he thinks it's fiction covering up reality through distortion. Mr. Whiskers says, are any just caves, though? No, obviously not. It's just all genitals. Jitara says, wait a second, now I'm wondering if Scorpzilla was an STD.
Mineral deposits. It's all biology, my friends, 100%.
Jesus Christ. What are we doing with our lives? Let's look at the bingo card. Maps and Mimic says, oh shit, he mentioned Luray Caverns? I've been to Luray Caverns. Let's see. Okay, we have Hannah regrets something she just said. That's not how women work. Take your pick on that one. Scientism. This rock, blah, 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 mountain was a human. And what was the doesn't understand architecture for? I guess the house. Sure, doesn't understand architecture. I'll take it. Marcus Drake says, genuinely in his world, is geology a branch of biology or something? Yes, he thinks so. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. When did we have poor understanding of Eastern religion? I believe you, I just don't remember. Hannah regrets something she said, correct? I marked it, it's just the marker's a little tiny, I'll make it bigger. There. See, that marker's a grower, not a shower. But once it's showtime. Nah, I didn't almost die of laughter. Giants? Did we already get giants? I think we got giants. Oh, no, it doesn't understand Eastern religion or Eastern philosophy, not just any religion. How does no one have bingo? Like, this is, I literally had to make more pieces. This is the most spaces this card has ever had filled at once. Let's keep going. I actually have to use the bathroom real quick, so I am going to put something on for a second, and then we'll keep going. Oh, look, the pee-pee show.
Down for generations and are now picking up your testicles.
Oh, okay. I don't know what this is, but I'll be right back.
Jim is a trained master of the ancient art of Kung Fu and is the only American student of mine that can demonstrate his sexual strength by lifting over 150 pounds with his genitals.
My name is James McNeil. These Chinese lovemaking secrets have been handed down for generations and are now revealed for the first time on videotape. The first exercise is simple. Suck up your testicles and anus. These exercises teach the man to control his ejaculation and maintain his erection longer. The Taoist practitioners of the bedroom arts caution against ejaculating too often. They teach that the man should control his penis instead of letting it control him. Next, we are going to show the most important exercise for controlling ejaculation. Inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs at the same time, sucking up your testicles and your anal muscles. The more you practice this exercise, the tighter it will become.
This moment in time has the qualities of this
I'm
moment.
sorry, what did I miss? What the fuck is happening? Alright, I don't know what just happened, and I don't want to know. Moving on. Oh. This is one of the super soldier people. Don't worry, you didn't see anything. Okay. You're scared and you need an adult?
Matthew Aaron.
I'm an adult, or so I've been told.
Mornian. At this stage on Earth, I'm currently serving a mission as a professional psychic reader and intuitive healer specializing in the release.
Intuitive healer is such a funny way to say person who pretends to be a doctor. Lance with 50 bits says, sometimes even the scientists see scrotums. Strange story of scrotum humanium, the first dinosaur ever discovered.
And removal of really anything from implantation to entity attachment, all the way down to understanding, you know, where certain memories will exist within the body, layers of data that
your brain, your memories are in your brain,
exist within the body. And honestly, at this stage of the game, really anything that involves interacting with what we might call non-physical energies, the spirit realm, and probably a host of other really strange things as well. And so, yeah. I'd say the most important part of that, and you know, maybe this will just be a add-on that you may or may not put in there, but I think the most important thing that we can do at this stage of the journey, whether you're awakening into understanding, say like the people that watch your channel that are awakening to understanding, you know, that maybe they've been a part of some sort of a program, or maybe other people that are starting to use what we call their intuitive gifts. What I've noticed over the past, I guess we could say 5-6 years, is that I guess we could say one of my primary missions is helping to activate that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a super soldier. This entire channel is people who claim to be super soldiers who have recovered memories from either previous lives or other lifetimes where their memories have been erased by the government or aliens. It's the whole thing.
That within people, and so yeah, very much intuitive training and all of those things. I think for me, the origin of what I would call just the bizarre internal world began probably when I was a child. My maternal grandfather worked at Los Alamos, and he was part of a project that it didn't really have anything to do with super top secret technology. It wasn't supposedly, it didn't really have anything to do with, you know, what we might call, you know, extraterrestrial tech. He was actually working with some sort of a adhesive that...
Alien? Well, no, he said it wasn't extraterrestrial tech.
That they were using, but during that stage of his life, which I believe was in the early 1970s prior to me being born, there was a lot of what we might call abductions. So I came from a family that had been linked to the kind of New Mexico in military industrial complex, but from a much lower level, kind of like a lower level employee. And so it was something that I was aware of. I was aware of it as a child, and I think as I hit kind of adulthood, I was one of those individuals that had, you name the type of abuse, you name the type of addiction, it had happened in my life. And I think for me, I had this crazy awakening journey in 2015 when I began to understand what are essentially the chakras. And so my awakening journey, how I understood that my mission to, help, whether it be
poor understanding of Eastern religion / philosophy with the chakras thing.
Train or awaken or heal what it was had to have happened through some form of what I call a walk-in or a soul unbraiding. And so for me, most of that really started in 2015, like the real turning point in that. And that began a stage where there was literal beings coming into my...
Addicts shouldn't go down this path. This is common. You see this with Mike Lindell, too. Unfortunately, conspiratorial thinking and being in communities that are conspiratorial or cultic in nature can be addictive. If you're the kind of person who has an addictive personality, you're going to be more susceptible to stuff like this, because there is a addictive pleasure center part of feeling in the in-group. Ooh, I found a secret, I found a conspiracy, I know something other people don't. So people, especially people who are lonely, maybe don't get a lot of other social interaction, don't get accolades or don't get to feel special in their normal lives, end up using these fantasies and conspiracies to give them a hit of dopamine, like, ooh, in this, I found a new thing, I'm special, I found a new video that told me a new thing, ooh, So unfortunately, it can be an addiction just like anything else, and even when people leave one addiction, sometimes they just replace it with another. So that's unfortunate. That's why you gotta deal with the underlying issues. Underlying addiction, not just stopping, I mean, stopping's great, of course, don't get me wrong, but, like, you also need to deal with why that was a thing that you got so into.
My room, I would awake in the middle of the night being able to see and feel, and it sounds crazy, but I could literally taste and hear the channels in my body. And, for me at that time, I thought it was quite literally, I thought I was going insane. I thought I was losing my mind. And yeah, it was a multi-year journey till about 2017 when everything switched and I started doing this work. And I think the initial experience came with a crown chakra opening that I think for those of us that have experienced what we call the Kundalini awakening process, it's like blowing open every door on the body. And so for me, it was not a thing that I could control, but what I noticed within about, I would say, like,
I don't know if I have many doors on my body, and I don't think they need to be blown open.
Welcome to Revelation on...
We're just going to start jumping through things. I want someone to get a bingo before we finish, so we're going to do different things to try and get stuff marked off.
Traveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. And this will be another prophecy video in my series.
I'm not even going to click on the Dave thing. I don't want to know. I'm not fucking with Dave.
And this will be about that amazing mugshot taken this past week of President Donald Trump, which the entire world is talking about. However, I predict that this attempt to discredit...
Who's this guy? His name... Oh, gosh, what is his name? I forget his name, but he does Catholic-themed conspiracy theories and weird stuff. Like, he literally I don't know if he still does it. He used to do daily live streams praying the rosary for Donald Trump to become a Catholic. It's pretty out there. He also did that DIA song, Denver International Airport.
Our former president will backfire hugely, as someone has already said. And
no, we didn't have the communist Marxist socialism space yet. Maybe in this. It might be in this.
I believe that it also already has backfired on Donald Trump's haters. And this mugshot, the first time I saw it, reminded me of Ralph Waldo Emerson's poem about the start of the American Revolution. And all I could think of was, here the embattled Donald Trump stood and fired the mugshot heard round the world. And the whole world is talking about this amazing.
Does he think that most of the world is supporting Donald Trump and thinks he's getting shafted, because that is not the case.
Mugshot.
Like, I get that the cult's quite large in the United States, and there's plenty of far-right groups in a lot of countries, but I don't know if there's anywhere, other than maybe Russia, where everyone's like, yeah, Donald Trump's really getting fucked. Like, no, no, no.
And could it be that this is the start of another American revolution?
Really wants a civil war on the bingo card?
It could be, but I think it's actually far more sinister than that. I believe this is a warning to America, and by extension to Donald Trump, about the fate of America. And before you scoffers say anything, let me show you another prophecy about Donald Trump from Almighty God.
Have you considered that I don't believe prophecies?
And that occurred...
Bone Wolf, let me see your bingo card. Just take the URL at the top of your bingo card page, copy paste it into the chat, and I'll take a look.
When the lightning struck the Vatican on the day that Pope Benedict resigned. It occurred at...
I would imagine lightning strikes that a decent amount, considering it's probably a lightning rod. If you have architecture and there's a big spire these days, usually there's a lightning rod.
I believe, was it?
There's the link. Bump, 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 bump. You did it. Bone Wolf Connor. You're the winner. I'm going to write your name down. Congratulations, Bone Wolf Connor. You are the bingo winner for the day. So that is the official winner. I will write down your name real quick. I even had the list open. Look at me, being all efficient. If he said do your own research, then yes. I didn't hear it, but if he did, yes.
4:45 in the afternoon, something like, or 5:55. I know it was a significant number. And
I don't know why it was significant, but I know it made my conspiratorial brain go burr.
In this lightning strike, you can see Donald Trump's profile.
What?
Take a look. Can you see Donald Trump's profile in there?
No! No, I can't! What are you talking about?
Maybe if I put it on full screen. Let's take a look at that. Isn't that an amazing image?
I am really trying to see it here. I really am. Because when people, you know, when a lot of the time in these conspiracies, when they say some sort of pareidolia thing, a lot of the time I can kind of see how they see the thing. You know, even if I, of course, understand that it's not intentional. It's my brain seeing patterns in random things. I got nothing on this one. I have no idea. I do not know how he's seeing that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
And I also want to show you a mashup by Paula. Let me show you this mashup of the lightning strike as it relates to Donald J. Trump. And here's a picture. You see Donald Trump looking up and to the right, and Moses, as represented by Charlton Heston in the movies, looking up and to the left.
They don't even match? They don't even match? You can kind of forced the Trump one, but it's also clearly not really that. You just found the closest picture you could find. The Charlton Heston picture, not even close. Not even a little bit close.
This is an amazing picture, which I have shown quite often here on YouTube. And I believe the meaning of the lightning strike was that Donald Trump was prophesied by Almighty God to part the Red Sea.
I feel like we've skipped steps.
And this coincides with prophecies about Donald.
I feel like we're a little bit underpants gnoming here. Like it's like step 1, lightning strike. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, Trump parts the Red Sea. The question mark is what I have questions about.
Trump by the Protestant prophet Kim Clement. So I think all of Christianity is looking for something that will save us from the forces of evil which are engulfing the entire planet. And a lot of people thought that maybe Donald Trump would be the one who would save us. And this mugshot has created an uproar among both Donald Trump supporters and Donald Trump haters. And now I want you to look at a comparison between Donald Trump and Uncle Sam. I'm sure you're familiar with this poster of Uncle Sam, the I Want You poster. Notice in this close-up that both figures are wearing a blue jacket with white shirt.
Wearing a blue suit, a red tie, and a white shirt has got to be one of the most common three-piece suit color combinations in the world, especially if you're a politician, right? If you're a Republican, for instance, ties are usually where you show a color thing, I've noticed. So Democrats will often wear blue ties, Republicans will often wear red ties. And if you're already going with the red, a blue jacket and pants matches that.
And red tie. Notice the similar expressions in the mouth and the eyes. And Uncle Sam even has long white hair. However, there is a hidden image in Donald Trump's hair that is very disturbing. Let's take a close-up look of that hair, and I've got a copy right here. Now here is the image of Donald Trump.
Oh, you printed it. Great. Cool.
Internet. And maybe you can see up here, by the way, what looks like a possibly a Masonic symbol. I think it's the Sheriff's Department, which print that emblem on the photographs, the mugshots which they take. But the significant thing is that highlight on the top of his head. Can you see that?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I knew immediately that there was something very odd about that. It was very prominent. It stood out in the whole image. And in the past, whenever I have wanted to search the meaning...
Okay, I have no idea where this is going. Chat, make your best guesses right now. What does he think he's seeing in the hair? What does he think he's seeing in the lighting that's hitting the hair?
Of photographs like this, and I knew right away this was a significant photograph. I would run it through...
Wow, you don't say that the first mugshot of a former president of the United States is significant? Wow, so intuitive.
Through a copier. And that very often darkens the darks and lightens the lights, and it increases the contrast, in other words. So here's what happens when you run that mugshot through a black and white copier. And as you can see, that image up on top becomes very prominent. But what does it represent? Well, if you turn it just a little bit, let me see, is this the right way to turn it? Yeah, I think so. I think what you see is the image of an eagle
Who said eagle? Whoever said eagle. I thought someone said eagle. Maybe I'm wrong. Whoever said eagle, you fucking win. You win nothing, but you win! Hooray! Senten, you said eagle. Unstable Deadbeat, you said eagle. Congrats!
It's back, which I think represents the United States and Donald Trump. But what's that? Let me see if I got that right. Let me see if I have that right there. I think it should go like this. I have time for me to look around the camera. But I think what we have here is an image of a eagle flat on its back. In other words, I think it is dead, a dead eagle. I think it's been killed. And I think crawling over the eagle is the image of a rat. Isn't that what that looks like to you?
No! It looks like a black and white copied photo of Donald Trump's mugshot.
Some kind of furry creature, either a rat or a mouse.
Someone come get their peepaw.
But more than likely a rat. And rats would never attack an eagle. They would be afraid of an eagle. Eagles are carrion eaters. But the rat would itself eat on the dead carcass of an eagle. And I suspect that's what this is. So let me show you what happens when you run that through a copier a second time.
Oh good, we've done multiple layers of the copying. We're spiraling downward.
Get that right. I think you can see.
This man would be awesome at Rorschachs. I don't think you understand the point of a Rorschach test.
You have to twist the image just a little bit. And it looks like the rat at the top. I don't know if I have enough light on the rat so you can see the rat. I think the rat is chewing on the head, maybe.
Gnome Pickle says, come on, Grandpa, I know you want to play with copier more, but it's pudding day.
I hope you can see that. In any event, I believe that is the significant part of this message. And I think it's pretty obvious that Almighty God is sending us a message of a catastrophe that is going to affect both the United States and Donald Trump.
I like pudding more than ice cream. Hot take.
And I think that the first image that we saw of Donald Trump in the lightning strike on the Vatican, that he was prophesied by Almighty God to part the Red Sea, I believe that will be held in abeyance, and it may never happen. Kim Clement also had positive prophecies about Donald Trump, which I don't think will happen. I think Almighty God is saying in this mugshot that the rats in this country are going to destroy the plan of Almighty God. They have become so powerful, and Satan is in ascendancy in the United States and in the world. And we see that all around us. So that was the only message I had in this video. If you have any comments or if you see anything, very often in the videos I see something and then some of you add to what I have revealed. And if you see anything else in this amazing mugshot, let me know. Put it in the comments below.
A pink and blue shark, thanks for 2 months, says thanks for being awesome. Thanks for being a subscriber and a viewer.
Sure that we have not uncovered everything which Almighty God is trying to tell us about the fate of America and the fate of Donald J. Trump.
Okay, I think we have one more video I wanted to cover today, at least. Let's see how this one goes.
Hey guys, I want to say people are cannibals. Y'all better watch out. People are cannibals. But one theory of mine is why there's so many fights and stuff at McDonald's and fast food places is because they're serving human meat, and that's just like a consequence of human meat.
I've talked about this before. We did the math. McDonald's just could not conceivably profitably serve human meat. Like, unironically, even morals aside, you could not get human meat sourced at the volume McDonald's sells meat. Like, even if it was like a ratio of like, oh, 99% of the burgers, beef, but 1%'s human meat, still no. Human meat, I don't know if you know this, it's illegal to sell humans and human meat, if you want to call it that. That's disgusting to even describe it as that. So no, McDonald's and other restaurants are not selling you human meat. Xandris, thanks for 37 months, says late stream resub time. Well, thank you very much.
You start wanting to fight.
No Pickle says, I'm starting a charity to send conspiracy theorists shirts. For 50 cents a day, you can help cover the weird torsos of people who think your McChicken is made out of people. It won't stop them, but they may stop blinding passersby with their pale flesh. In the arms of the angel. Hype Train, 62% to level 1.
With your own peoples, because you're eating human meat. But I want to say that eating human meat has consequences.
Kuru.
I paid
another prion diseases.
$10.99 for some beef jerky. I think it was human meat.
You paid $10.99 for some beef jerky and you thought it was human meat. $10.99 for some human jerky would be a crazy price. Like, I have no interest in eating a person. I have no interest in cannibalizing anyone, but I will say, just thinking of market economics, black market human meat? Jerky? That's gonna cost more than $11. Like, that's just not how anything works. You're not gonna run a profitable human jerky operation if you're selling it for the same price as Jack Links. Like, that's not how this works.
And my gut got all in a knot, and then my hearing went to shit. Like,
maybe you just had bad beef jerky.
Got old man hearing because I ate human meat, I think, jerky.
Famously, human meat makes you deaf?
But
Marcus Drake says, hot take, I'd eat ethically sourced people jerky. Well, that's an interesting thing to know about you. 65% to level 1.
Yeah, I think there's human meat all up in our food at the grocery store.
There's not.
Like, I got a hankering for turkey meat. I like turkey. You know, I want a turkey sandwich.
I like chicken over turkey.
But I gotta stop with that. But anyway, I bought some turkey lunch meat. And I'm pretty damn sure that, 20-30% was human meat.
Where do you get 20 to 30%? Like, it's mixed in there? When you get turkey at the store, it's sliced. What do you mean you think it's 30? They all look the same. What? Like, I don't even think that human meat would have the same texture as turkey. We're mammals. Turkeys are birds. I'm pretty sure there'd be a noticeable difference.
I ate like a whole...
Like, if you told me you had bought ham, like you bought ham and you're like, I think this is human meat, I'd be like, okay. We're pretty similar to pigs organ-wise. And like, I get it. We kind of look similar. So like, I could see maybe sneaking in some human into the pork. But the turkey? No. You're not getting away with that. That's not how you sneak human meat into people's food. I'm kind of going, I'm losing it. 65% to level 1 with a minute and a half.
I don't know what it is. Like a whole package of it. And I was like, oh, it's not too bad. And then I went to buy some more. And I ate a little bit of it, and I was like...
Wait, I'm sorry, you thought you had eaten something that was like 30% human meat, and you went and you bought more? You're like, I don't know, I know it's human meat, but I do like me some turkey. That's still like 70-80% turkey, so I'm kinda on board. Stone Corbell with 100 bits says, I don't have anything to say about this, so just hype. And Dr. Gamble says, My gut gets upset when I eat meat. Must be human meat. Or consider the following. It may be spoiled, or you may just have an eating disorder, dude. Not even necessarily an eating disorder, like an eating, his stomach might just not be good for meat, you know? 72% to level 1 with 30 seconds.
Like, oh man, this is fucking human meat.
We all have that experience. Ah, fuck, they got me again with the human meat. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. 97% to level 1. The only humans you want to eat are the rich. Over level 1, thank you.
Because I've been served a rat, I've been served human meat at least twice by some dirty black charcoal-like entities.
Is that a dog whistle? Is he trying? I'm trying to figure out if it's his sleep paralysis demons / hallucinations, or if he's being racist.
But I want to say that people are cannibals, man. Like, I don't know. I've done a lot of Buddhist meditation.
Meditation. Poor understanding of Eastern philosophy on the bingo card.
You know, meditatizing. Mediating.
Meditating.
My brain is no working. But I'm more aware of my body than other people, I think. Like, I'm more aware of what's going on, and I'm more aware of the body, and I'm more aware of my environment and stuff. Anyway, that's what Buddhist meditation, there it is. That's what Buddhist meditation is about, being aware.
The 30 milligrams of DMT is kicking in. Oh no, he's going to Toontown.
Stuff like that. So I'm not sure if other people are as aware as I am. And plus, if they got the jibby jab, you know, their brain is, who knows, you know, Klaus Schwab owns their brain, so.
That's not how anything works. Please get vaccinated.
They don't mind eating human meat.
Like, it's literally been years at this point. How are these people still pretending that the vaccine is anything but good? It's been years. They were saying we were gonna drop dead, like, 2 years ago. Still here.
Anyway, there was this turkey, and they had like a ton of it. The next time I went back, you know, like 2/3 of it was gone. And next time I went back, you know, it was full again. Anyway, people are eating this turkey, and I'm sure it's human meat because, you know, I know the feeling. I felt bad about myself, and I was like, ugh, you know, I felt disgusting, and it was human meat. So anyway, nobody's talking about it, but I think the jabbed up people.
Like, if you, and this is a weird question, would it even make you sick to eat human meat if it was prepared? Like, let's say you didn't know what it was. Let's say someone's like, here's a hamburger, and it's really like human meat, but it's been prepared to all food safety standards. Like, are you gonna get ill? Like, obviously mentally, and maybe the smell would be bad to you, but like, if it wasn't, what about it would make you sick? JP Black says, oh, but we all did, we just didn't realize it. And I'm not talking about prion stuff. Obviously you can get communicable diseases that way, but that's not what he's talking about. He's just talking about, like, ew, I felt icky. Like, your body knows it's human meat?
People are eating human meat because that's what it's about. Reptilians want to turn you into cannibals. Like
reptilians on the bingo card.
Like them. Because I saw this little lizard. It was on my window, and then this big lizard came up and tried to eat the little lizard. That's how reptilians roll. They like that cannibalism.
Maybe they were just into vor.
So,
there was a guy who was serving human meat hamburgers, and people were fine with it. Gross.
Say, watch out for the vax, because...
Jesus Christ, these people. Minute left on the train. And then we're gonna call it. I start saving this stuff for future conspiracy days.
Alright, so this is Confessions of a Flat Earther. I don't really want to say that. Leave my glasses on. I don't want anybody to know who I am. You know, none of us wanted to be a flat earther, I'm telling you right now. Nobody really wanted this to be true.
It's not true.
Wow.
Excessive Observer, thanks for 41 months, says suggestion for channel to raid. Alrighty.
Yeah, preterm birth, stillbirth, general hospitalization as a newborn. Yeah, I think somebody tweeted out a paper somewhere.
Thank you for the person to raid, which we will do. I don't know why I should do this. Bum 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 ba-dum. Follow.
Sunshine.
Hannah Reloaded, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
That's me.
But yeah, Simpsons, if you have any questions or if you need any help.
Thanks everyone for such a great Tinfoil Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow for who knows what. It'll be fun, and then Thursday, of course, will be the YouTube stream. Oh, MSKTB89, thanks for 28 months, says, hope you and Baja had a great anniversary. Yours is about a week and a half before mine and my husband's. Have a good night. I hope you have a great anniversary. Alright, let's do the raid. Glad you found it too, Leftist Gorilla. Hope to see you again in the future. We do Tinfoil Tuesday every Tuesday. We do Foil Friday sometime, which is the same thing, and we cover all sorts of fun stuff. So check it out. Maybe join the Discord. I've done enough shilling, though. I'm familiar with Kuru. I mentioned it. Alright, have a good night, everyone. Stay cool, or whatever you do in your personal life that exists apart from this stream. Apparently. I'll be here until tomorrow. Seriously, though, bye.